the stand. I carry that crest in my hand, rain on my shoulders, still I stand. Tell me who wears it like we can. Mud on the boots, heart of gold. Those stories living in the cold, every name that the walls still hold. I was born for this, I was told. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold, we were cut from that blue gold. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our name, this is our skin. When the pressure comes down hard, we don't flinch, we play our part. Every scar on the badge says more than 1,000 songs before. From the first whistle to the last, we remember where we came from fast. No throne, no crown, no borrowed fame, just a city calling out that name. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold, we were cut from that blue gold. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our name, this is our skin. Let the whole ground shake, let the whole world know. We don't chase a moment, we are the home. Hands up high, voice up loud. Same old pride, same crowd. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our name, this is our skin. Yeah. Ooh. Blue till the end, blue till the end. Loyalty stays even through the storm. From the bridge to the stand, I carry that crest in my hand, rain on my shoulders, still I stand. Tell me who wears it like we can. Mud on the boots, heart of gold. Those stories living in the cold, every name that the walls still hold. I was born for this, I was told. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold, we were cut from that blue gold. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our name, this is our skin. When the pressure comes down hard, we don't flinch, we play our part. Every scar on the badge says more than 1,000 songs before. From the first whistle to the last, we remember where we came from fast. No throne, no crown, no borrowed fame, just a city calling out that name. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold, we were cut from that blue gold. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our name, this is our skin. Let the whole ground shake, let the whole world know. We don't chase a moment, we are the home. Hands up high,
Yes, good people, big up to all of you. Welcome back to Chelsea Perspective. Welcome for another edition of the Blue Morning Show. We're back again with the part 3 of Chelsea Keep, Sell, or Loan exercise, and also news hunting. It's a mashup of both. We'll do a little bit of mashup Chelsea news hunt and then come back to the studio and continue with the keep, sell, or loan exercise, where we debate which players Chelsea should keep and which should they loan out, sell, with clauses such as forced refusal or maybe buyback clause and all that. But it's going to be a lot of fun, even though it doesn't sound like that is a lot. It is quite a lot because we keep it interactive here. It is about you in the chat and the panelists, and hopefully I will get more panelists to join me so you can get diversified opinion. And we'll also talk about Enzo Fernandez's future, Marc Cucurella's future, and Chelsea's reported interest in Jarrod Bowen, which I want the player at Chelsea. He brings EPL experience, plus I think he's one of the most underrated players in the EPL. But that's, by the way, without wasting much of your time, I'm going to head on to the live chat section to say hello to those of you who are already there. And yeah, not surprised there. The first person already is my bro, Mabas05, aka MB05. I am super happy that Paris Saint-Germain won back-to-back UEFA Champions League title. Arsenal fans hold that. Heston, I'd say, yeah, a preferred ending for Chelsea fans. Because I don't think there's any. Maybe there are a few, but not public. Maybe, for lack of a more specific term, there. I don't think there'd be any Chelsea fans that wanted. You say any Chelsea fan that wanted Arsenal to win. I don't think so. Because yeah, had they won that, my goodness. You're gonna need air plugs because you wouldn't want to listen to what they have to say. All right, let's see. Kai Havertz and Nani Madueke hold that, the two former Chelsea players, and Kai saying that yeah, he wanted to Chelsea, but yeah, it'd be even better to win it with Arsenal. I don't blame him for saying that because yeah, he is an Arsenal player now. But I think it would have been safer saying something to the effect of it would be nice to also win it with Arsenal, rather than saying it in a manner that clearly shows he has no respect for Chelsea. Nani Madueke is saying what he said when he left there, referred to Chelsea as there, because yeah, he wanted to come to join Arsenal to win the Premier League, and I'm guessing the Champions League. Of course, I remixed that a bit. He didn't mention the Champions League. But yeah, big up to you too, IB, my bro. I appreciate you finding the time to join the conversation. Hope you are still celebrating. I mean, I'm just gonna say, yeah, a preferred ending to the season for Chelsea fans. Had Arsenal won the Champions League, I think there'll be a lot more people online crying and them calling the owners, and yeah, it would have made the situation worse for us. But yeah, that loss to PSG, Arsenal lost to PSG. You could say, once again, preferred ending to the season for Chelsea fans. That's how I prefer to say it. But yeah, I told you Arsenal are going to bottle the UEFA Champions League title. Y'all didn't believe me. Listen, it only makes sense to argue before that final that the more defensive side are more likely to win. And it was close to being that case, but Arteta, for me, tactically, I think he still lacks that edge. They didn't really go for it. They didn't play like they were going to win. They just looked as if you could say they have a lot of attacking players. I would have started the Berichez in that game. Arsenal have a lot of attacking better. You could say they have a lot of attacking players that I think had they played differently, had they gone for a win after scoring that first goal, I think they could have won it convincingly. But maybe they thought they'd be able to hold it out, 1-0 win, and that be it. They made a mistake there. All right, let's see. Arteta and them boys didn't realize UEFA Champions League has proper officiating, not EPL standards. That's another thing. Not EPL standards. Glad to see refs actually doing their job. Has anyone seen Saka? And here's the thing. The interesting thing, one of the most interesting things yesterday, I don't know, they were arguing that incident involving Nani Madueke and what's his name, the Portuguese international, should have been a penalty. No, Madueke he held the defender's hand and not the other way around. All right, Drake's new album Iceman is more successful than Arsenal's European record. That's a good one, and I like that. Yeah, but keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. I appreciate you all finding the time to join the conversation this particular morning. And once again, it's another edition of the Blue Morning Show. A lot to talk about. Not quite a lot, yeah, but we will talk a lot about the small items we have lined up, and we have just 11 likes. We should be doing a lot better than that. So if you haven't, take a second, drop a like on the video, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And remember the promise: once we get to 30k subscribers, we will do a custom Chelsea kit giveaway. You get your name on the back, and also if you prefer the cash equivalent, you get it. Chelsea are weighing up a move for Jarrod Bowen, who has been on their radar for a long time. Chelsea believe they need more leadership, and I think he brings leadership experience, EPL experience to be more specific, and he's actually a good player. I can guarantee, I'd argue that he's actually better than a few of the players we have currently. He is always committed. Always, you don't bully him like that. Can be physical. For me, Bowen will be an excellent addition to our squad, and his salary I don't think would be much of an issue. So why not? And I want to get your opinion on Chelsea signing Jarrod Bowen. I am happy. I want him. I like him. I think he's a good player. But let's hear you, and he will make us a lot better. Let's see, Jay. You're here and you're fighting me already. But more importantly, nice to see you, Jay. I appreciate you finding the time to join the conversation. And we must sign Kenan Yildiz over Bowen. Listen, we can sign both. We can sign both. And the Juventus, they've made it clear they're not looking to sell Yildiz. Bowen makes us strong. Both players both players will make us better. I don't think if we end up signing Bowen alone, I'd still be happy. Honestly, Bowen will be an excellent signing for us. I know he's underrated, but beyond him not being the fanciest of players in world football, I'd like you to go take a look at his numbers. Yildiz won't be a bad signing, but I don't think. Again, he's not guaranteed to hit the ground running, irrespective of how good we think he is. And I like God's, the Ajax kids. I like God's too. But we can actually sign one of Yildiz and God's and still sign Bowen as a squad player. But even Bowen, if you sign him as a squad player, he'd end up proving that he should be a starter. And you'd have no option than to start him because he gives 100% plus week in, week out. And that's my opinion. A big up to you too, Rokan, my bro. Temidayo Lumorakami. That's a good abbreviation of your name, both first and last name. I like that. Big up to you, to greetings to everyone in the building. Been a minute, and hopefully the reason for your absence is that you've been busy, and if that's the case, happy for you because we understand bills don't pay themselves. Miss you guys too, my bro. Miss you too, my brother. Samiko M. Yanks, Mr. Samiko, nice to see you once again. I do hope you're doing well. Big up to you too, Jay. Missed this platform so much. We miss you too, honestly. We're like a family here, and thank you for saying that. That makes us happy. 15 million for Bowen is too much. 30 or less is where we should stop. Do I think we'd pay 15 million for him? No. I think, except if we have other clubs, if we're competing for his signature with other clubs, then chances are that reason will drive up the asking price. But I don't think we'll be paying. I don't think we'd pay that much money for him. I don't think so. 30, 40, 45 still fine by me. Because he will make a difference, really. Thank you. I appreciate you, Samiko M. Yanks, giving us update. It's not easy. Thank you. We appreciate that. And it's just me, not just me alone. Jay in the chat there. Dante, Bobby Fairview, Zambiano brother in Charles, Tobago. A lot of us, growth. So thank you. Appreciate you. Let's see what else we have here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. So I'm going to go to the presentation window so we can start addressing the items we have lined up. Let's see. All right, let's go. What do we have here? West Ham would want about £50 million for Jarrod Bowen. Industry figures believe Industry figures believe competing clubs will try and do a deal for around 40. 40 is still a fair price for him. 40, 45, fair price for Bowen. His experience, Premier League experience, especially Premier League clubs, I don't think will hesitate to pay that much, to pay 45 to 50 for him, actually, if we're being honest. But I think we can get him for less. And as I've said before, he's a player I like so much. Very, very, again, underrated in my opinion, grossly underrated. But I think he makes a huge difference. He'd be just like that. I'm not saying he's you can say like for like with no, he's different, but he brings leadership and experience. Let me just leave it at that. Chelsea are weighing up a move for Jarrod Bowen. That's a belief that Bowen could be available on a value deal. The feeling is that the East London club now need to sell. They do need to sell. I think it will take a lot to convince him to jump to the championship with them. But he did sound like a player who he was distraught. Wasn't happy that they were gonna that they were going down. That they're gonna go down. I think and he did say something. You could argue that could have been him just respecting West Ham United, because the question was in regards to his future, given the fact that West Ham United will be playing in the Championship next season. He did respond, saying something to the effect of that particular time wasn't a good time to talk about his future with respect to the club, a big club such as West Ham United, something to that effect. I wouldn't necessarily say that meant that he's definitely, again, staying with West Ham United to help them come back to the Premier League. I think if he gets a good offer, he's going to leave. But they can. Who's to say they're not going to be able to convince him to go, slug it out with them in the Championship and come back to the Premier League. But we'll see what happens. Dante said he will be sold for 15 million. It's a possibility, but I don't think they will sell him for 15 million because he is a very good player. He's underrated, really. Once again. He gives you 150% and hardly ever gets injured, really. Correct me if I'm wrong. I can't remember hearing Jarrod Bowen being out with one injury or the other. Must have been, but because, it hasn't happened too many times, I don't remember that. So let's see. Chelsea already have 3 players at the position. Who are they? How do they compare to Bowen? So that's the problem with our fan base. We can, even if we already have 3 players there, if we get Jarrod Bowen to come compete with them, it wouldn't be bad. We can have a very good squad depth. I get it, we don't have European assignments the 26-27 season. If the manager says yes, bring me Bowen, then if we look at the players, the 3 players you're referencing, if one of them isn't good enough, then sell him. Or not as experienced or doesn't offer leadership qualities as Bowen, sell him and bring in Bowen. You look to become better. That's what big clubs do. You don't let sentiments sentiments drive your decision making. All right, for me, I wouldn't mind Jarrod Bowen at Chelsea, and I've explained why. And good evening to you too, Masters Ibrahim. Ibrahim, I like how that is spelled. I appreciate you finding the time to join the conversation. It's still 11:07 a.m. for me. Kenda, Neto, Estevo, and Palma. we play with a very fluid approach, so you can't just count all of them and say they're all playing on the right hand side. I'm guessing, given the players you've listed there, they all can play centrally on the left or on the right. So yeah, and I'd take Bowen over NATO, and that's my opinion because you can. I don't want to get into that argument anyway, but yeah, I get your opinion there. He will be a top cover for all positions behind the striker. That's another way to see it. Yeah, I think he's so underrated. I take him over a number of players that are currently yeah, in that we have at Chelsea currently. But that is my opinion. Let's see. Yes, that's about Mika Götze at Ajax is going to sign. I like him, really. I really do like him. Up big to you too, Ty. I appreciate you finding the time to join the conversation. And as I've said, with regards to some Chelsea fans questioning why we're looking at Gerard Bowen, that's one of our biggest problems. He's an excellent player. He will make us much better than some of the players we currently have within our ranks. I'd take him over one of them. No need mentioning names, but we could still sign him and sign one of Yildiz or maybe Guts. But big up. I have our senior panelists on the panel here with me, and Bobby. Bobby, thank you for finding the time to join me. How are you doing?
Yeah, big up, coach. Yeah, very good today.
Big up. Nice to hear. And your thoughts on Chelsea reported Chelsea's interest in Jarrod Bowen. I'd say bring him, honestly. But I want to hear from you. What do you make of that?
Who made the report? Do you know?
Miguel Delaney, you trust. I mean,
Mm.
it's believable, and the fact that they're going down means that he'd be available for, you can say, a lesser fee than they would have sold him for had it not been the fact that they'll be playing in the championship next season.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know. I don't have a strong opinion, like I said yesterday.
Hmm.
I am looking at the overall transfer dealings, and I have my eyes on certain things to address within the squad, and I've made that abundantly clear on more than one occasion. Is he a good player? Absolutely. But, we're still going down the same formula. We have problems. We have problems with height. We have problems with physicality. Now, unless we address those problems to complement Gerard Bowen, if he's purchased, we're not going to get anywhere, no matter who's in charge. Yesterday, I didn't really want to. I watched bits and pieces of the Champions League final. Clearly, I was very, very pleased with the outcome. But, I saw something there that just made me realize, Arsenal is very good at what they do. I don't like them. I don't hold any bones about that. I think they,
Hmm.
as a club, have been very instrumental to a lot of the problems we have had, especially in terms of officiating and decisions against us. And their fan base is, to me, appalling. But that aside, you look at their squad and you see the physicality. They have giants there. They have giants there. Now, I'm not saying that one should absolutely replicate what they have. But had they played a bit more offensively, they would have caused PSG a lot of problems because their
But they did.
defense,
They did. They wanted to defend the
well,
one goal lead.
that they were tactically inept. They wanted to play the Premier League way, kick and rush, long throws, low block, typical mid-table type team mentality. But that was the Champions League stage, which you need more finesse. And if they had come out against PSG, they probably would have beaten them because physically PSG would not have been able to match them. They had one or two big guys at the back, but not enough. They would have been overpowered. Now that's what we're going to be up against next season and more. We can't do this. Every game you play against people like Newcastle, Liverpool, even Man City, Arsenal. Let me tell you, the biggest thing I fear the most is the physicality. So, Gerard Bowen, I get it, but is that our priority right now? okay, if he's complementing other players that are coming in with the physicality and height we need, that would be wonderful. But I'm deeply, deeply concerned that that's not being addressed. I don't even see any signs of it. It's early, but all the players we're linked with, the ones coming from here,
Here's the thing,
there.
Bobby. You don't have to see the sign, and the more we don't see the signs of what we're doing, the better. We don't
Hmm.
want to. You can say, because the moment it's
I
out there, chances are other club coming in competing with the signature of those players in question, and then complicating issues for us. I don't want to know.
I
And I
totally
paid
agree
attention.
with you. I
You
totally
remember me
agree with you,
saying,
but
"Yeah, go ahead."
I'm just stressing my point that I've stressed all season and maybe even before, that this is what is important. Now, if they are doing that behind the scenes, it's left to be seen. And if a lot of these people we're linked with is a bit of a smokescreen, fine, or they're complementary people, fine. But that's just my position. But by
I
and
do
large,
understand. And can we, if you remember, Bobby, here's the thing. You can say, I'm confident, really. The fact that the manager, we have a manager now, we don't have a head coach. More importantly, whatever player, again, the players we end up signing, definitely his choice will all be his choices.
speaking of that, I have a
Yeah,
question for you.
yeah.
Um, it seems to me a little odd that Liverpool would have done what they'd done by snobbing Xavi Alonso. Now, I don't know whether it's a mistake on their part. I don't know whether they've seen something. Because they don't want him, it doesn't mean to say that he won't be good for us. But it's just odd to me, and it adds to my wait and see what this guy is going to do sort of attitude. Because if his own somewhat quote unquote club didn't want him, and quite clearly they didn't, and rightly they didn't, they shouldn't, because their players don't suit him and ours do.
You just answered your question.
It's
You,
interesting though. It is
Yeah, no,
interesting.
it's. I mean, it's not. I mean, I'd have to. I'd go to the extent of saying it's actually not that complicated. If they had, you could say the crop of players we have at Chelsea, that probably they would have pushed for him. I think he'd be Liverpool's manager now and not us. One of the reasons why we didn't really push for Iraola was the reason why they pushed for him. Because yeah, they have players who are suitable to the way he likes to play, and they haven't. Their identity has remained the same since the days of club and hasn't changed. So it would
Yeah,
have
I
been a
mean, I
mistake
don't want to
signing even.
elaborate on it too
Yeah,
much,
but
but
I think
it's
we
an
remember, if you
observation.
remember, we did speak about that at length the other day. Had they gone for Alonso, he might, okay, chances are he'd agree to adjust his approach a little bit to what he has at his disposal. But at some point they need to make certain signings to get him to sort of players that you could say that will make it a lot easier for him to implement his preferred approach. Although they have Florian Wirtz, they have the other guy that played under him at Leverkusen, but that's just the two of them. So I think it's a matter of profile or him being suitable to, you could say, him not the players they have within at Liverpool not being all you could say a good fit to the way he likes to approach football. But go ahead with what you were saying.
No, as I was saying, I don't want to elaborate on it. It seems obvious to me, it's not unacceptable to me, but it's quite interesting. And
No, it
in
wasn't.
in
Go
another
ahead.
in another way, I'm hoping this would be what would seal his loyalty to us. To be
Aha,
honest,
that's deep reasoning, Bobby.
well,
That's deep reasoning. Him seeing it as them disrespecting him,
well,
or not
not
to an
wanting
extent,
him. Who
or
wants to
them not
go
even considering him, even though he
exactly?
served them at some point in his career I think he might.
Exactly.
That's a chance he sees it as an opportunity to prove to them that yeah, they made a mistake not coming for him, and now his loyalty lies with Chelsea and not them anymore. That's something that's actually very common with humans.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but
I'm
go
I'm
ahead.
hoping it works out like that. I mean, there's a lot of hope with us at the moment. It's all hope, 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 hope. We hope for this, we hope for that, we hope for, but this is just an interesting thing, which I don't want to make a thing out of it, because it doesn't have to be like that.
It doesn't, but yeah, I'm not concerned about that. If anything, that actually, uh, you could say, it deals with my fears. It has dealt with the fear of him, you could say, mid-season, you saying you opting to deciding to leave us and going to Liverpool. So that actually, yeah, that has actually, for me, that fear of him leaving mid-season has gone because yeah, they are gonna hire a new manager, and I don't see them because they have Alonso doing well at Chelsea, deciding to again fire that particular manager and losing a lot of money. I don't look. It's become it's no longer of concern to me that he's gonna leave us mid-season. No, if that happens,
Well,
it'd be of our own doing.
well, let's hope not. If we
Let's hope
haven't,
not. Indeed, yeah.
if we haven't learned from the debacle of Maresca, he has to do well, but this chopping and changing manager every 5 minutes is never gonna help us. It seems this Samiko Yanks is really convinced about Gerard Bowen. Interesting.
Yeah, he's a good player. I'm convinced too, and he brings experience. More specifically, brings Premier League experience. And if you know him, you'd know that he's almost always available. Hardly ever gets injured, and whenever on the pitch, you see him fight for his team. And I think he's underrated. And I'd say the reason a lot of Chelsea fans and you could say aren't open with the idea of Chelsea signing him, it's simply because he's not the fanciest of players, but he's actually a highly technically gifted player. Actually, so
To be
it's
hon-
he's that sort of player that you don't know what he brings to the table until you leave him out of the squad or the starting 11. Go ahead.
yeah, to be honest, I'm not against it. I've seen what he does. He's certainly caused us problems every time he's played against us. He is a effective player, and he would do well in the squad for sure. A young squad like Chelsea that will need his experience and energy, Premier League nous, an understanding of the English game. Yeah, there are many games that have many different meanings to Chelsea, which a lot of the youngsters are yet to really get on board. Okay, they've now quickly understood the whole Chelsea Tottenham thing, the whole Chelsea Arsenal thing, the whole Chelsea Liverpool thing, but there are still one or two. Chelsea West Ham, do they understand that? He certainly will. A couple of others, even Chelsea Man City, and definitely Man United. But Man City in recent times, we hurt them a lot in that Champions League final, and they've made us pay for 5 years. But there comes a point where you have to put a stop to that and let them know who's boss. There is a mentality about the English game that a lot of our somewhat new fan base don't really understand. All this compromising with like Arsenal. Oh, there's nothing wrong with Arsenal. No, we don't do that. There's nothing. Oil and water don't mix. Neither do Chelsea and Arsenal. And that's just how it is. That's just the culture. I reposted Jason Cundy on Talksports. You saw what he was saying, what he was doing. Gabi Abonglahor, he's Aston Villa. People, we have our tribes. That's football. Football is tribal. It's not, oh,
Beyond
well done,
football,
chap.
we can be friends. We can share beer in a bar, have discuss
Exactly.
football in general, banter each other. We're
And
not
at the
gonna, you could say, start unaliving each other or shooting each other. But that
no,
culture, you can call it hate, whatever you want to call it. That that is what it is.
you've hit the nail on the head. There's no question of unaliving. I know some of the youngsters still swing punches at each other. Largely, they don't. I'm not for that either. I've witnessed a lot of that in my time. I'm not for that either. But the culture where oil and water don't mix, you don't have any kind of empathy or allegiance to your rivals. That's football. If you
You
want to
only
do all
support
the
them
sportsmanship
when you only support them in a scenario where if they win,
where
it
it can help
favors you
you.
one way or the other.
Exactly. So if you want to do all that sportsmanship, patting each other on the back, go take up cricket. But as for football, we don't do that. And I'm sure lots of other countries are exactly the same.
Yeah. All right, thank you so much. Let me catch up what we have in the chat. Come back to the panel. We have our Zambiano brother in Charles and also the captain of the community in Constantine. Yes, what do we have here? Samika Young says, yeah, Gerard Bowen is a great player. 100% will be a good signing for us. To be honest, I wouldn't mind Bowen over a few of the players we have right now, but I'm not going to mention names. And big up on everyone. I hope everyone is cracking open the nicest bottle of champagne. I haven't cracked one, but I might. I'm not into alcohol anymore. I've never been, you could say, a serial drinker. I drink occasionally, peer
He can
pressure.
have a glass for us, coach. For sure. Yeah.
I will try the best I can. All right. Big up to everyone in the chat. I'm not going to get everything you have in the chat. If Chelsea had hired Alonso instead of Rosino, we would have finished a third or fourth in the league. Instead of, I would still go with had we convinced Maresca to finish the season, but Maresca definitely was bent on leaving. He was never, again, maybe, we're speaking in hindsight now. Bobby saying hello to everyone in the chat there. Big up to all of you. And my assistant, Samika Yanks, my assistant was in the chat in Santiago Muno. I think I've said hello to him. Also, yeah, also, who? Yeah, he's consistent too. Very. Hardly ever plays badly in a game. And we cannot regret it. I promise. I believe you. Honestly, I sincerely do believe you. And Natalie Haywood says, I am so happy that Arsenal lost to, PSG. I'm happy too. I was concerned they were going to win. And had it not been for the tactical ineptitude of, what's his name, Arteta, they could have won. They could have won, but yeah, I'm just happy. It is what it is. But we have another brother on the panel here in Tobago. Big up to you, Tobago. I appreciate you finding the time to join us on the panel today. A happy day for us. You can say preferred ending to the season for all Chelsea fans. But our bro, Zambiano brother in Charles, your thoughts? If you want to speak about the Arsenal loss first, but I want to hear your thoughts on the possibility of Chelsea getting Jarrod Bowen. Is he a player you would want to see at Chelsea or no? But let's hear you.
Um, First of all, big up, guys. Big up, Tobago, Dante, Bobby, yourself. Always good to be here.
Charles, big up.
Gerald Bowen, Gerald Bowen, big up. Gerald Bowen, good player, good player.
Mm-hmm.
Coach said, coach said, he would take him over some of the players we have. I would too, and I'll mention names unlike you. I'll take him over NATO. I'll take him over NATO. Uh, he's effective, like you said. He attacks the box well. He attacks spaces well. He's not fancy. He's not flashy, but
That's probably the
he's
reason why a
just
lot of Chelsea
He,
fans don't fancy him. He's not the
he,
fanciest of players.
but he's very
Very,
dangerous. He's a
yeah,
very
very
dangerous
yes,
dangerous,
man.
yes.
industrious, get the job
Very
done. Yeah.
dangerous in the box. I had a comparison to Diogo Jota. Yeah, similar kind of player. He's not gonna do anything flashy. He's not gonna be. He's not a dribbler. He's not really a creative force, but he knows how to attack the spaces in the box, spaces between the lines. You'd be an effective signing if we are getting rid of Neto. Yeah, but if we are not, it depends on who we sell really. I would take him. I would really take him, especially if he's Esteval. Yeah, this season Esteval will need a bigger role, and when he's not available, and when we need that experienced know-how, Premier League know-how, and we need that goal threat in behind, I think Bowen would help us. So yeah, it depends on outgoings really. But yeah, I like Bowen. I'll take him.
All right. How about the Arsenal? Arsenal winning the Champions League.
Not winning it. Like I was really happy they didn't win it, man. Wouldn't have seen the end of it. Like I celebrated. And Gabriel missing the decisive penalty, that's
And he's
so
the
well
most
deserved.
arrogant of all the Arsenal players.
He's the most arrogant, the dirtiest also. And so I think it was poetic that he's the one that missed it. And yeah, it was a good night of football. I thought Arteta should have gone for it a bit more. Arsenal
He
looked
does
dangerous.
listen. He doesn't have it tactically. I've always said that he doesn't have that edge when it matters. I don't know what he was thinking after scoring the first goal. I thought that was it.
They just sat back and I think they should have looked for a second goal. They should have used their physical advantage. Every time Arsenal put PSG under pressure with balls in the box, with crosses, with set pieces, they looked really dangerous. I thought they should have done a bit more of that, especially in the second half and in extra time, but he never really changed after scoring. They just sat back. They weren't aggressive. They just sat back, and you can only sit back for so long against a side that as good as PSG
Very
individually. They
important.
were always going to have a chance, and it came. They equalized. They could have scored more, but I was disappointed with Arsenal's approach, especially second half and in extra time. In extra time, like PSG made a lot of changes. The chance was there for Arsenal to just go for it and make their physical advantages count. Pump some balls into the box, force the issue and try to get a goal, but they didn't. Their subs didn't work. The Gyökeres was just running around, bumping into people. I thought they could have done more.
They
Tomago,
have.
you
They
know
could.
But
what turned everybody, and I mean everybody, apart from Arsenal fans. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. Not even against Chelsea. Everybody was turned against them. Why? Because of the way they play. It was horrible.
yeah,
16%
yeah, yeah,
possession, one shot on goal in
And they
120
have
minutes
they
plus of
have the
football.
most they have the least and the second least record in the UEFA Champions
and
League
and
final.
and,
Yeah,
and
I
they are
mean it
saying they
was
are proud.
it
They
was
are saying they are proud
so
of that performance. They are
they're
saying they are proud
crazy.
of that performance.
It
You
was
you shouldn't be. You shouldn't be. It was an embarrassing performance in a final. I mean, Liam Rosinha's Chelsea did well, did better against Paris Saint-Germain, even if we lost to a bigger scoreline. But when you watch the first leg in Paris, 75 minutes, I
it
think
was watchable.
yes, it was watchable.
It
We
was,
we
but
nearly
this
matched
game,
them. In
yeah.
second half, we were in the ascendancy, but
Oh, it was terrible. Couple with what they did in the Premier League, all those VAR things, and it's just I've never seen a situation where fans unanimously, apart from Arsenal fans, were against Arsenal. It's incredible. We have our reasons. I understand why. We want to still be the one team in London with the big ears trophy. That's what makes me happy. But all these others, boy. They all, and I think it's what they did in the season because I've never seen a Premier League champion that has been looked upon with so much disdain for the officials giving them decisions. That's not a good look. I don't think.
Even I think Wenger at some point said something. I think
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
everybody
yeah,
said something.
Yeah,
You know,
everyone said
it's
something. They're former players and everything. Yeah. All right, let me catch up. Then
yeah.
we'll hear Dante's opinion, and then we go to Tobago. And Samiko Yang says we are going to win the Premier League next season. It's a possibility. I know we will be there if we make decisive signings this transfer window, which I believe we will. And Ty says Bowen under Alonso makes perfect sense. He is a natural inverted inside forward whose relentless work rate. That's some point we haven't talked about here. He's such an industrious player on the pitch. His industry is excellent. Work rate of the ball fits Alonso's aggressive counter-pressing system in a fluid 3-4-2-1 setup. Yep, I agree. I couldn't agree more with that comment. He's an excellent player. He will be an excellent addition for us. Who's here? We're just analyzing the game. We don't want them to win. But I actually thought they were going to win it, not because I wanted them to win, because they were the more defensive side. But also, they have a very good attacking players. They have very good attacking players, but still, Ateta, for me, tactically, he doesn't have that edge. When it matters, Jesus Christ, you will see him. You can say he just wanted everything is about defense for him. All right, let's see. Let's go to my Aussie bro on the panel here. Dante, your thoughts. If you want to talk about the Arsenal loss, and it'd be nice to hear your thoughts on that. And then Gerard Bowen to Chelsea, your opinion. Let's hear you.
Yeah, big up, coach, guys in the panel, and everyone in the chat. I didn't watch the game because I knew
Yeah,
Arsenal
you told
probably.
us you weren't gonna watch it. You
No,
weren't
because I knew
interested.
they're gonna have probably 25% possession and probably have one or two shot on goal, and that'll probably be their game, and that's exactly it's exactly what happened. So, um, yeah, obviously I watched the highlights after, but I haven't watched the full game. But yeah, very happy that things didn't go their way, and yeah, we're still,
Had they won, I'd be looking for where to buy air plugs now.
yeah, it wouldn't have been pretty, but it's been good looking on the timeline, all the tears from Arsenal fans, etc. So that's been pretty good. So it's been a pretty good day in that sense. But yeah, I mean, you can't expect much more from them. They get that goal, that deflection falls to Havertz, and he goes and scores the goal in the 5th minute there. Even that, they needed luck for that as well, for that goal. But other than that, like you say, Arteta, my goodness, he makes football very, very ugly. So at least the footballing gods, they came through and we got PSG to win it. A much more deserving team, in my opinion, overall. So thank God that happened. But yeah, I didn't watch it. No, I'm not going to watch. I don't like watching Arsenal play, especially Arsenal. No, I stopped watching them a long time ago. I'm not going to watch those guys play.
Yeah, a deserved win for PSG, definitely.
Haram football.
Yeah, haram football, indeed. Honestly, it's a good thing that Arsene Wenger at some point said something. There were other Arsenal fans who hated it, but yeah. That's by the way. Let's hear you, Tabeho, your thoughts. The Arsenal loss, Bowen. Dante, have you spoken about Bowen to Chelsea, the possibility, or is he a player you would like to see at Chelsea? Did you, and I missed it?
No, I haven't yet. No, I was just about
Go ahead,
to
let's hear you. Bowen
proceed
to
before
Chelsea.
Tobacco goes. Yeah. Look. Yeah. He would. I think he'll round out the squad. The only problem with him is I know Tobago says he's more of a winger. He's played on the right wing, but he's played as I said, he's played as a 10 and an inside forward quite a lot as well, even when he was younger. So he's got the technical ability and the vision and the shooting and everything that he can play in that inverted sort of 10. So, I have no worries. And I think it was Ty that wrote there. Yeah, he suits the system for Alonso because he likes to, he's a worker as well and he presses really well. And yeah, I think he'll be a good signing. The only thing is, he's at that stage in his career now. Probably his final contract coming up for his age. So would he come to Chelsea where he's not a starter? Because he won't be a guaranteed starter. He'll
But
have to earn that spot.
if he proves he can be a starter, he'd be starting games because he's capable.
Yeah, but these type of players like him, like I said a couple of days ago, they never end up going to bigger clubs usually because number one, they don't get to play much. They like to play, and he's one of those guys that he needs to play every game to be good. That's how when he's at his best. When he plays, plays every game, and then he's at his best. He's fit and he's really on point. Uh,
He's not
coming
always
to
a starter for West Ham, Comes off the bench a lot.
not always, but because he's a bit more mature now, but he did play a lot for them when at his peak. He plays a lot for them, so even like you said, he comes off the bench, but he's a very important player for them. He's one of the most important players, to be honest, because he creates, he's their set piece taker, corners, etc. So he's very involved in everything they do, even when he comes off the bench. But I think he's 28 now. I think he's 28, 29, something like that. I think he's turning 29. So, like I said, last contract, would he come and, not be probably place considerably less that he would at a club like West Ham or any other mid-table club where he'll probably play 80 90% of the time. At Chelsea, I don't
But
think
when
that
it's
will happen.
29.
Yeah, it's 29, so that's what I said. It's his last contract. Chelsea probably wouldn't give him a contract, only like a 2-year contract. They're not going to give any player over 30 like a contract. We saw with Cucurella they didn't extend him up until 30 years old as well. So we actually had that with Abramovich as well. They had the 30 plus rule. Well, it was always a plus 1 year option for all those players. They kept that even with Abramovich. They did that as well quite a lot. So yeah, I don't see us giving him a contract more than like a 2-year contract. And this is where I think I can see him going to like another, like a Crystal Palace or someone like that. Well, they'll actually offer him a 4-year contract, up to 32, 33, because they don't mind. So yeah, I think it's going to be difficult for him to come, to be honest, because of that. I just don't see him going to a big club. I hope he does because I would love to have him as a squad, like I said, a squad player. I think he'll really help the younger players and his professionalism.
All right.
He's a very professional player as well, so he would bring a lot to the locker room. But yeah, I have my doubts. I don't see it happening, to be
All
honest,
right.
because of the reasons I said.
All right. Thank you so much. Let's see. How about you, Tabejo, Gerard Bowen? And if you want to talk about the Arsenal loss, it'd be interesting to hear from you. How did you celebrate it? And yeah, let's hear you.
Yeah, no to haram football, no to wasting time, no to bad tactics. And actually, Arsenal were lucky to uh, to to score that Havertz goal because as much as it was a deflection, at the end of the day, that ball hit I think Trossard on the hand, and then
He did, yeah, yeah.
Havertz took that ball and then he scored that goal. And they should have not allowed that. And also, Saka had two incidents where that
A
first one
clear
was a
penalty
hand,
call. Yeah.
yeah, clear penalty call. So, and also Noni Madueke was trying to be smart there, holding Mendes and falling off with him and demanding a penalty, which was not a penalty. So overall, I'm glad PSG won and no to haram football. But in terms of Bowen,
No, not to
I'm
haram
on a
football,
50
indeed.
50.
I think that's beyond haram. I don't.
On
We have to
on
come with a new name for that because
Boko
that's
Haram.
beyond haram.
Boko
Boko
Haram.
Haram. Yeah,
Yeah,
Boko Haram.
It's become they're
Yeah.
terrorizing. They become a terrorist organization.
I think so. Yeah, yeah. That's more fitting, definitely.
So
Go
in terms
ahead.
of Bowen, I'm 50-50. Whether we sign him, I'll be happy. If you don't sign him, I will be happy because for me personally, like I always said, I think we need a left winger that can play both left winger and a 10. So in terms of Bowen, I'm not sure at the moment. It's not my priority as
Yeah.
a fan.
I mean, I wouldn't mind him at Chelsea. I think people underrate him a lot. I think he will make a difference. And Ty did explain very well uh, how again if we sign him, how it fits into Alonso's preferred approach of the
Yeah, I
football.
think Tobega's
I
trying to
like
say
this
there,
guy
Coach.
as a foot.
Tobega's trying to say that we need we need a like a right footer as well because he's a left footer as well, Bowen, and we have quite a few of those already. We need
So
like a
good
right,
balance will be key.
yeah, because he
Yeah,
prefers
we
on the
have
right hand side.
Esteval, Kolpama.
Yeah, they're all left-footed players. They like to come in from the right to come in and shoot on the left. So yeah, I think we do need a definitely. I think Alonso will know that we'll need a right-footed player, predominantly. Both feet obviously, but more right-footed that can on the left and cut in on the right because we're kind of
Yeah.
missing that. We need that balance there.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good factor to pay attention to. So yeah, Fabrizio Romano on Rafael Leao's feature in terms of concrete options. What I can tell you now is that only Turkish clubs have decided to make an approach and start discussing numbers, contracts, salary, eventual transfer fee. So only top Turkish clubs like Galatasaray and Fenerbahce are making some calls to understand the situation of Leao, but at the moment, still nothing really advanced or concrete. I like watching him, but he isn't a player that I'd like just to sign. Um, Especially, you can say, if we're playing with a manager who's again values players tracking back and you can say pressing effectively, he's not the guy. We've been looking at him for 1,000 years right now, and I'd still say I wouldn't want him at Chelsea even as a free agent, honestly, because basically a manager like Alonso having Leao on his team would mean him tweaking his approach to accommodate Leao or finding ways to mask Leao's deficiencies from a defensive perspective. I wouldn't risk it. I think he's a good player, but if you have any manager, if Alonso feels like he'd have him and not have a problem finding other ways to mask his lack of defensive contributions, then yeah, so be it. I'm open to any manager, any player that the manager wants to join the club. But we shouldn't even go close to Leao. And why do you think that Turkish clubs are the only clubs looking at him right now? No English club, no other Italian clubs. I don't know. Tobeho, let's hear you. I don't want Leao at Chelsea, but I'd watch him. I'd pay to watch him because he's a good footballer.
Yeah, he's a good footballer, but the other issues that he's lazy, doesn't track back, he doesn't defend, and then that means we're going to have a very
Okay, looks like Tobeho is at Chick-fil-A restaurant there, and they have a very bad internet
Not in South
connection.
Africa, coach. Not in South
So,
Africa.
so Dante, let's hear you, Rafael Leao. We will go back to Tobeho once he joins back. Chick-fil-A usually has a bad internet connection, and it looks like that's where he is right now. Tobeho, Tobago, are you there?
No, he's cut out again.
Yeah, yeah. But
Um,
Dante, let's hear you. Go ahead, Dante. He
yeah.
has
yeah,
I'm
go
here.
ahead.
Can you hear me?
Oh, he's back. Go
he
ahead.
doesn't.
Continue.
Tobago, are you there?
Can you hear
Tobago,
me?
are you there? All right,
Yeah, we
Dante,
can hear
just
you.
go ahead. He can wait. Let's make sure his connection is stable before we bring him on. Go ahead.
Yeah, look, Leo, he's very much a luxury player, luxury type of player. So you really got to have a team behind him.
And it's not like he's elite that you could say accommodate him. That's the sort of thing you get when you have players like Eden Hazard on your team. They're not the best from a defensive perspective, but yeah, they are extreme from an offensive perspective. That they get you everything you want offensively. He's not that. He's not just me, in my opinion. Not elite
Yeah, look, he's a very
and
good
still a
player.
luxury player. Yeah, go ahead.
He's a very good player. He's very talented. He's got a great shot on him. He's got good technique, good dribbling ability. Um,
Would you
but
categorize him as elite?
no, no, I wouldn't. No, no. Probably just a tier below that. Below that. So he's a very good in the very good category, but he's a luxury player. So a player like that, like you said, you really need to have. For example, Arsenal. He can play that Havertz role. he can play for Arsenal because what Arsenal has, behind, no problem. They can use his flair and his you know goals, scoring and shooting and that a bit of that flair and a bit of that classy touch that he's got. So yeah, for like an Arsenal, something like a luxury player to add to that front line, he would probably be a good signing for them. But for us, definitely not. No, because yeah, he like you said, it doesn't really work. It doesn't track back. It doesn't work at all. He's a very much luxury player. Hence why the Turkish clubs are all over it for that league. Don't be surprised that he'll probably end up in maybe even Saudi, in my opinion. It's either Saudi or Turkey, probably those two, where he can actually shine and you know uh, play the game he wants and not have to do all that hard work and do the any defensive duties at all. So yeah, I don't expect any really big club to go for him unless, like I said, maybe like an Arsenal, someone like that that can get him. That can risk that and put a luxury player up front there anyway because he won't be getting much of the ball anyway. So, but he's that type of player that can do something with not much because he's quite talented.
He's capable of doing that, but doesn't do it consistently.
No, and that's down to his like we keep coming back down to his work rate and his attention to everything happening around him. So yeah, look, it's definitely a no for me. I don't think he would suit. I don't think Alonso would want him anyway in that system at all. He likes to play quite wide and then come in. Look, Bobby might like him because he's 6'2" for a winger. So he's a he's one of the tall wingers out there in Europe. He's probably one of the tallest wingers available. So this would be it, Bobby, a 6'2" winger. We found a really tall winger.
Yeah, but Bobby doesn't leave out the you can say the defensive contribution aspect. He also bring that up as an issue. But I don't want to Rafael at Chelsea. Hi
Yeah,
guys,
you
it
definitely
has been
need to have the technical capabilities and of course the defensive capabilities and Leao, it's quite clear that nobody is looking at him because his way of playing is very outdated.
all right. Hi guys, it has been a very frustrating season. We almost witnessed an Arsenal double, but PSG saved football. I think that's how a lot of Chelsea fans see it. I'm happy. Yeah, but yeah, thank goodness I don't need to go buy air plugs right now. Dante, Mabas is in the chat, bigging you up, saying hello to you with Australian flag
Yeah, my blast.
and all that. Yeah, Tabel, are you ready to speak about layout right
Can you hear
now,
me?
or are you
Can
there?
you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah, we
yeah,
can
we
hear
can hear you.
you. I recognize that you are Chick-fil-A, so yeah.
Do you have Chick Fil A in
Yeah,
South
I
Africa,
said
Tabega?
no, 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 don't have that.
Don't have that. No, I didn't think so. Not even in Australia. We don't have that in Australia either.
Okay.
Yeah. So in terms of Rafael, yeah, I said it. I think he's a lazy player in terms of defending, but he's a good player. But again, I'm so tired of carrying passengers on the beach. We need 11 against 11, not 10 and a half and against 11. So in terms of Liao, I don't want this player at Chelsea. Unless maybe Xabi Alonso wants him and can change him, maybe I will say yes. But again, I'm not sure about him.
Yeah, I don't want him. If Alonso want him, then yeah, okay. As you said, he has plans to mask that deficiency of his. Big up to you, Chelsea Blue 881. Nice to see you. I want to see which player are going. I'd rather do a clear out first. I don't think it'd be a clear out. I think we know players. The outgoings are obvious. Let me just simplify it that way. We know players that we believe will be leaving the Stamford Bridge gates, but yeah, we can only speculate. The manager, chances are he comes in and says, you know what, I like this, I see. Yeah, to be some, my best sister, big up to you. To now over to our Zambiano brother in Charles. Charles, let's hear you. Rafael Leao to Chelsea. Your thoughts? Is he a player you'd like to see at Chelsea or nay for you?
Big, big, big name. Big, big name. Um, First of all, he's stagnated. He's not developed into the superstar that everyone thought he was going to 2 3 years ago. Um, is not elite, and he's not even a tire below elite. I classify him into the Rashford category. Rashford type. He's got good pace. Can beat his man. Um, attack spaces, but decision making in the box, very not just in the box, but decision making is a little off, like Rashford, and that kills his effectiveness in attack. I think most players think is that great attacker that they thought he was going to be, but he's not developed anywhere near that. He's a player that's in decline, I would say. His impact at Milan has waned as seasons have gone by, and it's why no big club is just the looking at him. I would see Newcastle going for him. Could also see a Tottenham maybe going for him.
What are they waiting for? Are they waiting for us to give them the go ahead order?
Oh, yeah, it's still early. It's still early, coach. Still early in the window. Uh, a lot can happen. These type of clubs are desperate for a superstar signing, and I wouldn't be surprised if they saw Leao as a superstar, but he's not. He's not. And yeah, I wouldn't want him at Chelsea. I don't think what he brings in attack is worth carrying, uh, is worth covering for what he lacks defensively for us. And I don't think he lifts our attack. I don't think he raises the ceiling of our attack. I don't think he makes the difference for us in attack. Good player, talented player, but I don't think he takes us to another level. And defensively, I don't see Alonso going for him. Doesn't work hard enough. Uh, I don't even think he's the best player in Syria. I think Alonso would want someone like a Yildiz in that league. So it's a big no for me. Good player. I see clubs like Newcastle and Tottenham going for him, and maybe the Saudi clubs and the Turkish clubs also. Where
Already,
else?
who Fabrizio says are already the ones pushing to sign him.
Yeah, be already making the first moves. It's a long summer. That's why I would say clubs like Newcastle, clubs like Tottenham, they are desperate for that attacker that could change, that could make a difference for them. It's still a long summer, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll say indeed. And like Bridge News here, reposted by Vince, it says absolute superstar on his day. When you hear on his day, yeah, that's a telltale sign that the player doesn't perform consistently. So he says absolute superstar on his day, but on the Xavi Alonso system, we need intense discipline, off the ball pressing. Leao defensive work rate has always been the question mark in Italy. Incredible talent, but tactically, it's hard to see where the puzzle fits right now. I don't think we need him. I think a lot of Chelsea fans can agree, but you still see some who are blindly, you can say, under the influence of this, you can say, stardom, still calling for the club to sign him, irrespective of whether he fits how we play or not. So, yeah, I
Yeah,
agree
and
with you. Yeah, go ahead.
that point where Charles was saying that he's stagnated. Yeah, look, he scored basically in 2023 9 goals, 2024 9 goals, 5 26 9 goals, 9 goals. Basically, he's scoring 9 goals a season.
So,
So
not he's, at least his numbers has been consistent.
he's very consistent with that. So in the Serie
That's
A, scoring
stagnation.
9 9 9 9 8.
No,
So
I
yeah,
understand, but I'm just joking earlier. Go ahead, Dante.
very consistent there. But yeah, I mean those not really good numbers, and that's exactly right. That quote there can look like a superstar. So when the big games are on TV, like the primetime games, he usually turns up, but then against everyone else, he doesn't. So he's one of those that likes the lights, he likes the showtime. He's hyped up, uh, and he likes that. Because I have seen when I've seen him play against, like I said, the prime games, he usually turns up. He's pretty good at those. He looks good, and so that's why a lot of people, because they see him only then, they don't see the rest. They don't see that he doesn't do it in the rest. It's a long season. They only see those important games because he does turn up in those important games. So yeah, that's why a lot of fans really like him because he looks really good in those important games, but the rest is nowhere to be found.
Yeah. And Poyenko is saying you'd rather keep Ganacho. No,
No, no, no.
that I'm saying that we shouldn't sign what's his name, Rafael Leo doesn't mean I want us to keep Ganacho, especially under Xavi Alonso. I think Ganacho eventually leaves. I'll be shocked if he stays, and I'll still tell you he's not a bad player either. It's a matter of utilization and system. So, but
I
I
do
don't want him
see.
still.
I do see a world where he stays another season. I don't think there's a lot of interest in him right now. Still early days, and that may change. But uh, I think he wants to stay, and we will have to force him out if he leaves. And looking at that would mean would need to force him out. Means we'll need offers that he wants, that he will accept, and he wants to stay in the Premier League. And do I see a Newcastle, Tottenham going for him? After seeing what he's done at Chelsea, I think his stock was highest in the summer. There wasn't much interest again, but I think with Man United there was always that aspect where the club was blamed as well, you know. So right now, clubs have seen what he's done at Chelsea, and it's been next to nothing. And I don't think he's going to have much interest in the Premier League now.
No,
If he
there
wants
won't
to
be,
stay,
except if we're willing to sell him for a loss, then clubs would take that risk. But I don't think Chelsea would want to sell him for a loss.
No, they'd rather
yeah,
loan him
yeah.
out
Yeah,
and
they'd
keep,
rather loan
you
him
know,
out. Yeah, make some
keep
money
that
off of
tap
him. Yeah.
going and make that money back, and then maybe sell him in a year times or 2 years time. Because then, yeah, let's not forget he's still very young, so he's he's still very young. So that's he can improve and get better. There's actually quite a lot of teams out there looking for a left winger, touchline winger as well. So there could be quite a bit. Atletico Madrid. A lot of these clubs are looking for left wingers.
Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah,
Charles.
yeah, yeah. I agree with Dante. I think I said it in the chat as well. It's a crazy left wing market this summer. So I think if clubs like Atletico, Villarreal, even an Italian club like a Juventus and Napoli shows interest and is willing to go, well, we could sell, but he was insistent last summer that he wanted to stay in the Premier League. So we'll have to see what he wants and what he's willing to consider. But I definitely see a world where he stays another season or goes on loan,
I
which
mean,
league.
we've been
I
there
don't.
before.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you never
So
know.
it's
The truth is, this is where the sporting directors have created a problem yet again for the club. Because in all honesty, Garnacha has no place at Chelsea. If he stays, he's going to be on the bench at best and in the stands at most. He will probably, if he's going to play for a first tier team, he'll probably do better in a club like Arsenal, where you have the physicality around him to afford him to be able to play his game. But at Chelsea, where the onus is on you to be able to make it the chances, score the chances, and be that guy, he's never going to be that. I think he belongs in a club of the next tier. I mean, he would do well in somewhere like Palace, or I don't even think Atletico will go for him. Villarreal might. But the problem
Okay,
is who's gonna pay the money we paid for him? He's going to have to be sold at a loss, and that's down to the sporting
they're
director's
not gonna sell
failure
him.
yet
They will
again.
send him out on loan, Bobby.
Who's going to loan him? And we have limited loan
I mean, there'll be plenty.
positions.
Like he would do well in La Liga. I think La Liga clubs would be interested. Um, Here's the thing. Speaking about Garnacho, actually, Vince just posted something that they in Man United inserted a 10% sell-on clause.
That's even
I
less
don't know
money.
why. Yeah, yes, that's even
Although
that, which means we're not
10%
gonna
of the
even sell him.
profit.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if
So
we
he's
sell
gonna
him
be
without
stuck.
profit, that
Yeah,
means they get nothing.
yeah, exactly. So we're not gonna sell him for a loss. That justified Dante's argument. Chelsea will not sell him for a loss. They'd rather send him out to loan. Yeah, and until they make some money out of him, then they sell him. It was under if it was under Carlo Ancelotti, I'd say Rafa, even Ancelotti wouldn't want him. Agility allows attackers to have freedom. Even at that, you still have to work hard. Rafael Leao struggles against the low block, but does well against the big teams in Serie A. I think
You
that is
know,
said
we're
that
we're
too.
we're talking
Yeah.
about someone like Rafael Leao being a
Mm.
luxury. We cannot keep Garnacho. That's too much luxury. There's him. There's Valentin Barco. There's Esteval William. We're not that team. We can't have so many of those types of players. He has got to go. He has got to go. You know, if we're going to hang on to Gittins as well, no, it's too much.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Vitinha has completed more passes than Arsenal entire team. You be nice, man. Rafael Leao really wants Chelsea. Where did you see that? Do we want him? Cucurella, Rafael Leao is an inside forward, not a touchline winger. I haven't. Did I say he was a touchline winger? I don't. I hadn't even gone to the measure of trying to define the sort of winger he is. But that's why the way this on the screen here. Did Arsenal really do this? They do that every season. Uh, this looked more like an AI stuff. Let me see if I see something that will give it away. Yeah, it's AI. But good banter. Good banter. You don't use something. Is that water hose there in that guy's hand? Yeah, that's definitely AI, but it's good banter anyway.
Yeah, no, it's they do it very quickly now. Maybe 10 years ago, when they needed to, do it a little bit different. But now with the
And,
raps and stuff,
and taking it off wouldn't be this messy.
no, no, no. With the raps now, they
They
do it
wouldn't. So
very quickly. Yeah, with the raps and
yeah,
stuff like
yep.
that. Yeah.
And pull it off. Yeah. So this is AI, but good banter. So yeah. So I'll
Coach,
take it. Yeah.
coach, I wanted to chip in on the conversation I found between you and Bobby regarding Xabi Alonso.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Go ahead,
Xabi,
bro.
yeah, Bobby seems to be interested. It interests him to see Liverpool not going for Alonso. Uh, um, I think one thing that you guys didn't talk about enough is the influence of the sporting directors. I mean, we've seen how influential they've been regarding the signings at Chelsea. They've literally signed everyone for themselves. I, I haven't seen a manager type of signing since they came in, and Richard used his relationship with Iraola. I don't think you guys talked about it enough. I think it's a major factor in them deciding to bring in Iraola over Alonso. Hughes worked with Iraola at Bournemouth, knows him. They have a great relationship.
Ah.
And, yeah, and looking at the way Iraola plays, it's a stylistic fit for Liverpool. So I think that's a
100%.
sporting director. Yeah, that's a sporting director appointment for Liverpool, and it's nothing to do with whether they rate Alonso or they don't. I also think there's a bit of an issue with his decision to join Madrid last summer. instead of them. Their interest started last summer as well, and he didn't even consider them. He was set on Madrid, and
So
that could
they're
also,
returning the lack of loyalty.
I
yeah,
think the
yeah, yeah.
point I think the point we're making here is that we totally. I mean, I certainly accept what you're saying and to be true and exact. But what the point we were making is that this can only help us because it will consolidate any sort of allegiance he can build up with us, knowing
I,
his
I don't think that's the case necessarily. I think Alonso staying here will depend a lot on his,
success.
on how we support him, on what that manager tag really means, and it remains to be seen. So, um, if they end up frustrating him like they did Maresca, I
And
think he
Pochettino.
walks. Yeah, and Pochettino, I think he walks at any point of the season. I think he's that type of character. He's not a yes man. He's not gonna
But
agree
let
to
me ask you.
everything.
Let me ask you this. You made a great point. Let's assume Pochettino and Maresca did not move the goalpost. They didn't know. They weren't briefed properly with regards to the direction the club wants to go, and you could say the makeup of the project. How do they differ with Alonso? I think it's different
Um,
now.
it's
It's
different.
different now.
Um, we have to see. It's different because it's a different point at the project. I think the project is reaching a point where um, they have to
No,
put their
how
money.
about being them being head coaches and Alonso being manager?
Yeah. That's we the problem. The issue with that is that we don't really know what it entails for a Chelsea manager under this ownership and these five sporting directors. He's a manager, yes, but we'll have to find out what it really means. And then it's different because it's a critical point in our project. You know, when Pochettino came in, the project was just starting. They probably felt they could sign these younger players, and 3 4 years would be challenging. Right now, it's been those 4 years that they were looking at. We need to start winning on the pitch. So it's a bit of a difference in that area. That's why they are making these briefs about signing more ready-made players. They've gone for a manager that's more proven. So it's different in that regard. But what it means in terms of the power that Alonso is going to have, the players that we are going to sign, uh, it remains to be seen because right now everything that's happening was planned long term. Valentin Barco was signed long term to join Chelsea at some point. Emega was signed last summer to join Chelsea at some point. We didn't imagine Alonso was going to be the manager then. Um, and Mike Penders, there's strong rumors of him coming back and competing for a spot against Sanchez. So that was also pre-planned. So everything right now is happening as was pre-planned. So we can't be sure of anything. We will have to see what happens, see the influence that Alonso has, see the type of players that we sign, and we'll be able to tell what it looks like, this manager tag and his real influence as manager of Chelsea. So that's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be
Yeah,
accurate to say it's just a tag at this point, but I think here's the thing. I think it will be a manager as a tag and also in application. Honestly, I don't think he'd signed that contract if there's nothing in his contract, or you could say that the club didn't agree to allowing him the independence to make decisions on what players he wants the club to sign or let go. I think you could argue that's actually was one of the main reasons why he agreed. If they fail him, they'd lose a lot of money because I don't think he signed the sort of contract that what's his name, Rosinia, and you could argue also Maresca signed that it'd be easy for them to say bye, Felicia. So I think in this case, if they say buy Felicia, they'd be losing a lot of money. So probably they will keep their words. But go ahead, Tobias,
But
you
let's
wanted to
see.
say something.
Yeah, I think Charles mentioned a very, very good point that as much as Chelsea hired Xavi Alonso, I think is the first good step what they did at the moment. But the second step is how we're going to recruit players, and then will give us the clear idea whether Xavi Alonso is part of the sporting department in terms of selling players and also bringing on players. Because we have been hearing news about Liam Rosinia is on the board with the sporting directors in terms of recruitment. Same as Enzo Maresca, same as Pochettino, but it seems like it's not the case. As Danny Frankenstein said that the coach doesn't do anything in terms of the sporting. Whether we sack a coach or not is not on the coach why the club is so successful. So now we're going to see whether Xabi Alonso have a say or not.
If anything, there's actually evidence that that we've been wrong. That a lot of the fans have been wrong with regards to how they perceive how the club is run from a recruitment perspective. Some saying they just sign players. They're basically saying the club sign players. What they do is sign players and impose those players on the manager. I think that Pochettino's recent interview, for me, proves that that's wrong. But
Bob,
the more
coach.
accurate thing would say the sporting directors are not the sole decision makers. The manager also not the sole decision maker. They collaborate. And for
Coach.
Pochettino, let me finish. Pochettino said the only players that he didn't have a hand in the signing were those that were already signed before his arrival. But players we signed after his arrival, he was part of the decision making process, which would mean him saying, Palmer, you know what, I like him, bring him. Or him saying, Palmer, no, we need a different player, a different profile player. I don't see, I'm going to say it's my opinion. You have every
No,
right
no,
to
no.
argue against that. I'm saying, I don't see a world where, irrespective of whether it was Rosinia or who, you just go sign a player without the manager being aware and then imposing on the manager. Tabeho, we had the same debate when I said, when people were
Yeah,
saying,
yeah.
when I told people that I'd still blame what's his name, Thomas Tuchel for the signing of Lukaku because he said yes, I can work with Lukaku, knowing fully well that Lukaku is the sort of number 9 you'd have to you could say employ an approach where once you get to the final third, you basically will be channeling all your goal scoring chances through him as long as he's on the pitch. But he said no, he doesn't want to do that, which would mean Lukaku is not going to score anything, and again anything. You could say he's not going to come anywhere close to measuring the number of goals that he had scored for Inter Milan before joining Chelsea. And Chelsea fans, they don't care about the application. They wanted 30, 40 goals from Lukaku, notwithstanding how the manager approaches the game. But I
Yeah,
digress
but
anyway.
again,
The point I'm
but
making there was that we signed Lukaku because Thomas Tuchel agreed to work with Lukaku, agreed that, yeah, he can make it work. Had he said no, I don't see Roman signing Lukaku, especially after Thomas Tuchel won the Champions League. But go ahead, what you were saying.
Um,
yeah. So let me
um,
say this, Charles. Charles, let me say. Wait. So are you saying Grandpa told Bowley or the sporting director they wanted Mikala Mudrik and Enzo Fernandez in January, that January transfer window?
He
You're
had
saying
to
that?
say. He had to say. Didn't he speak with Mudrik? Did
Oh
he
my
not speak
God.
with Mudrik?
coach. Coach.
Uh,
I
You
think
don't get
we
the
we
point. Listen, if the manager is a yes man, if in fact the manager agrees to everything the club tells him, then that's the manager's fault.
Coach, I think we talked about it even last time, the Pochettino interview. So, Pochettino, first of all, was a head coach. He was a head coach, which
Okay.
means during negotiations, he agreed to work with the players that the club have been scouting, the players that the club were going to sign. And regarding Ganacho, there was also an argument over a phone call. No, Maresca called him, and that for head coaches, even for some managers, calling a player that is part of working with the club. Actually, it's part of working with the club. Get the targets that they've been scouting.
So you so
That
you're saying you're basically saying whether the manager likes
let
the
me
player
finish.
or not. Now,
Yeah, let me finish. I think you guys read too much into the phone call or anything. But Pochettino
I
initially,
have every right to say you do the same. You read too much into you can say how the structure works. But go ahead, bro. Are you there, Charles? Oh, did I disconnect? Okay, Dante. Oh, he got disconnected. Tabea, go ahead. If you were still speaking, you know,
Yeah.
it was yeah.
Yeah, let me add that till he comes back a little bit to that. I think there's two truths there. I think there's a little bit of that truth there with the Potter stuff, and there's a little bit of truth there for the Pochettino. But after the Potter, I agree with the Potter stuff because he was brought in, and don't forget how many players we brought in at that window. So he had basically two locker rooms to work with. So yeah, Potter definitely probably didn't have everything a say in that because that was already decided before. So yeah, after that though, you look at Maresca for example. After he won and after he had a say, he definitely had a say. He probably he had a little bit of a say when he came in, but after especially the second season, he definitely had a say. So I think there's a bit of truth to both of those. And just like Pochettino, Pochettino was an experienced manager as well. So he was a very experienced manager actually, especially working
So
in teams.
even though he wasn't a manager, he was hired as a head coach. He was still part of the process.
Of course, because he was a very experienced manager. Yes, so that's what he did
he,
everywhere
he
where
was
he was. He did that at Tottenham,
he was
at
part of
Southampton.
the process
That's what he
to
did.
Go
he
ahead.
was part of the process to he was part of the process to help the club sign the players that they had been scouting, that they were
Are you saying
targeting.
okay, Charles? Let me ask you
That
this: Are
were
you saying certainly that that was the case? That
that
he
was the
didn't.
case. That the
No, that's your
moment
opinion,
Pochettino
Charles.
wanted Yes, the moment Pochettino wanted more control, the moment he wanted more power at the end of the season, he fell out with the club. And the signings that were made, he was just part of the process to sign them. They weren't really the type of players that he
So
would have wanted.
you
I
don't
think
think he had
his
any right
interviews,
to you don't think he had any right to say certain players wouldn't work. Let's go for the other players. The way the way he structured or phrased his response showed that
He was
he
involved.
was part of those you could say
but
that decided whether a certain player should be signed or not because he said let me say
but
that again.
but
But go ahead.
But look at Palmer. Look at Palmer. Pochettino didn't know much about him when he came in, and he came in as a bench player initially, but he worked his way up. He impressed him. He
That's just an
got into the
opinion, right?
teams.
Can you tell us? That's just an opinion.
I believe what we all say here, opinions, coach.
No, I
But
just want
yeah,
yeah, we just wanted to make that clear. You're not saying for certain that was a that, but we signed Palmer as a bench player. Then up close, Pochettino
no,
realized that
that's not
oh
an opinion. That's not an opinion.
You don't spend 50
Palmer
million on a bench
initially
player.
no,
came
that's
as
an
a bench
opinion.
player.
That's the
No,
point I was trying to make. That was why I was asking you. That's just your
like
opinion. You
Palmer.
can't say for certain that was the case. But go ahead.
No, Palmer didn't come straight into the team. He was relatively unknown, a City Academy player, and the coach didn't know much about him. He came in initially was a bench player, and he worked his way up. He quickly impressed and became a starter. I think he became a starter much earlier than everyone anticipated. I mean, Palmer developed so rapidly. He was our best player in that same season. No one saw that, and even Pochettino himself uh, uh, admitted to being surprised at how good Palmer was, and that was early on. So these players, they've worked with Joe Shields before. I mean, it's sporting director influence that we got those players. I don't think Pochettino, if you told him which player do we want, I don't think he would go to Man City and point a Palmer to bring into the team. No, I don't. I don't think he would go to Ajax, to the Dutch league and point at Madueke. No, 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 no. Madueke was like, even Cody Gakpo was more developed than Madueke at the time. Yeah, I don't think. I think he worked with the club to bring in those players that were on their radar. And as the season went on, his frustration started building, and that's
Let
where
me
the
let me ask
tension
you
on
this,
him.
Charles.
Yes, go
So,
ahead, coach.
the manager speaking with the players, let's say in question, what do you
Yeah,
think
it's
he
part of
tells
the
them over the
process.
phone? He just tells them Chelsea want to sign you, come to Chelsea, and nothing
It,
about
it,
how he
it's
wants to work with them, or how he wants to utilize them, or how he's gonna get the best out of them. What do you think he tells them? Since we're still speculating here. I'm not saying anything. I'm saying is a fact, but I'm trying to present what I think makes sense to me. Do you really think the manager picks up the phone and say, "Hi, Palmer, let's say you're Man City now and you're not playing a lot, and I've looked at my squad. I think I have a space on the right hand side, and I think given your quality, I think you will thrive there." And which means the man,
coach.
I'm coming, which means the manager knows the player, he's looked at the player, he's agreeing he can work with the player. Or do you think he
No,
calls the player
no,
and say Chelsea wants to sign
no.
you, just come to Chelsea?
No, coach. It
No,
doesn't
which one
always.
happens? You'd have to convince the player,
Yeah,
tell the player the
let,
plans you have for him. So if you have to tell the player the plans you have for him, how you're going to utilize him, how his situation would be different from Manchester City where he's not playing much, how can you
Exactly.
be equipped with all this information to convince a player to come join Chelsea if the club is
coach,
imposing the player
coach,
on you? You can't
here
eat
is
your
what
cake
it
and
is.
have it. It has to be one of the either.
Here
One
is
of
what it is,
both, so
coach.
to speak.
Here,
And
here
Charles,
is what it
also,
is.
uh, I've actually had one of those calls from like a manager when I was playing exactly like that. And I can tell you it's exactly what coach was saying there. Exactly. So,
Here is how I see it. Here is how I see it. A coach the club brief the coach first of all. They brief the coach on the player. This player has been on our radar, this and that, and we really, really want to sign him. We think he's going to develop. A guy like Palmer, for instance, is going to develop well in the coming years. He has great talent. This and that. They brief the coach and they give him that idea. This is, a coach is there's a course for there's a course. These people are educated. They are they, they have the skills. They have the emotional intelligence. They have the listening skills. So they talk to the player. The club see you as this. They think you are going to be one of the best young players in the world. Um, we have a sport here. We think you can fight your way. They believe in your talent. That kind of thing where the coach has been briefed. Basically, for a player, it doesn't always mean when a
Here's
manager
what I would
calls
have
a
to
no, it
say
doesn't
player.
here,
work like that, Charles.
Charles.
Sorry.
Charles, before we go to Bobby to get his opinion on this matter, here's what I have to say here. You're a very smart guy, and I don't think I can win this argument.
No, you're probably not.
Because after presenting my counter response, or whatever you want to call it, even before I stop talking, you'll be able to construct a follow-up argument. And by the time you get done too, I will always find a loophole in your response to present something else to try to tell you, no, I don't think it's that way. So, but I enjoy this sort of conversation, and I think the audience too do enjoy it. But in honesty, I cannot win this argument. I've sensed that. And again, and we're all trying the best we can to speak objectively, and that's the sort of thing we enjoy on Chelsea Perspective here. So I appreciate that. If you don't mind, I want to go to Dante, but if you still have something else to say, you have the floor still. Bobby, so to
No,
speak, you have the floor.
no. we're good. We're good on that
All
one.
right, all right. You know, I hope you're not
I
taking
think I've
anything
made.
personally. It's not a fight.
No, 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 never, never. I never do that, and I think we've
Charles is
exhausted
good.
our
He's a
point
good
on
guy.
this.
Charles, if the way you said it that way, if a manager calls up and talks that way, a player straight away knows that that manager is doesn't want him there. He's just doing what you described.
He's just following orders.
Correct.
No,
No player
I,
will go there. No player will go there
no.
because, and that manager will not do that, first of all, because if they speak like that, like you said, they're professionals, they're not going to speak like that because they're very professional. They know how to make those calls. And you have to win the player over. You have to tell him that he's part of your plans, not their plans, the club plans, my plan, the manager's plan as well. Because if he doesn't say that, that player is not going there.
And that can I say
Dante,
something quickly? I'm
Dante,
that sort of
the
person.
main
Uh,
point was being briefed. The main point is being briefed.
I
A
get that.
manager is going, yeah, yeah. A
I get
manager is
that.
going to find a
Coming to
way.
Dante's point, Dante,
A, man,
that aspect of your
a
point,
manager,
eh? Where you said, like the manager saying all those things for the sake of it, because yeah, he was briefed by the club and to go try
yes,
to convince the player to join the. I'm that sort of individual. The moment you stop talking BS, I will
Exactly.
know. And for the sake of just letting you finish spilling your BS and leave me alone, I'll be going,
guys, haven't you
I'm
heard?
just letting you know because a lot of people, emotional intelligence, not just from the guy presenting whatever they're presenting, also the buyer of the idea you're presenting also does have emotional
Uh,
intelligence to be a
I,
lot of people are able to listen to you from the first few words you say and the way you present them, put two and two together and say he's full of it.
There has to be a connection,
Coach,
basically.
But go ahead.
I think you guys think that managers calling players is always because they've known them, they've been following them. Nope. There are conversations where managers even tell players, you are not going to be first choice. There are conversations where
Oh
managers,
yeah. Oh yeah,
yeah,
Of
yeah,
course.
you're coming to
you're
come
looking
fight
at,
for your place, to fight for,
yeah,
you can say
you're
compete
giving,
with somebody. Yeah.
and a young player like Palmer, why not? I mean, he would listen to that kind of thing. We think you have potential. It's been briefed by the club. No, we think you have potential, and we think you can be one of the best players in young players in the coming years. We'll give you a fair shot to fight for your place in the team. He would listen to that kind of conversation. I think you guys are hell bent on thinking
You,
that
no, no, your
managers
tone have
always
actually changed.
yeah, like
How you presented it now, very good. We'll give you the opportunity,
so
but
during
you didn't say it like
these
that.
phone calls,
You
yeah,
were you
these phone
the way
calls.
you said it at first was very mechanical. Yeah, that
Yeah, so
I need you to
basically,
even hear that and say, what is this guy trying to do here? You get the point. I don't mean it in a bad way, but go ahead.
yeah, basically, the conversation it's different that that these managers and head coaches or whatever that they have with these players. So I think coach was briefed, and yeah, he gave Palmer the impression that he had a better chance of grabbing his opportunity and being a starter in a few months down the line. So I think there were club signings, but Poch was briefed. I think Maresca was briefed as well to speak to Ganacho because obviously he's not his type of winger. He's not a touchline winger. He's not a dribbler. He's more. He's a
He's
bit
a
of a
touchline winger.
Leao.
Of course
He
he's a
likes to
touchline winger,
attack
Charles. Come
space.
on.
Huh?
He's a system winger. He's a touchline winger. He's like Madueke on the other side.
He
He's a
can't
touchline
beat his
winger.
man. You're not a touchline winger if you can't beat your man. That's the basic. That's the reason why they put you on the touchline. Even Garnacho at Man United wasn't really beating his man. He was attacking spaces and grabbing goals at Man United. No one knew him for his dribbling, for his flashy fancy stuff. No. So it's not that type of winger that a Guardiola, a Maresca would want. So he spoke to him. Yeah, he spoke to him. He was briefed by the club. We know it's Winstanley who was behind that signing. Okay, it's an opinion. Yeah, I mean, coach says
It's not
don't
one
say it's
person
like
behind the signing. I don't know.
No,
yeah,
yeah, I
but
mean it's an opinion. I know you know. Yeah, we don't work for the club.
so
Yeah, we can
he
only
was on
speculate.
the club's radar. Basically, he was on the club's radar before Maresca came in. I think Palmer was also on the club's radar before Pochettino came in because he had been followed closely by Joe Shields during his time at Manchester City. So it started going bad when Pochettino wanted more control, more power, started talking about signing more ready-made players, complaining in those interviews, and that's where it started going bad. And the same goes for Maresca. He initially came in, was happy to be head coach, was happy to be here. But after he won, it started going sour. After he won, he wanted a new CB to replace Cowell, which the club talked to him about, refused to grant him that those wishes, and that's where the broken relationship started. So I hope we don't repeat these same mistakes with Alonso. I hope we give him more of a say. I hope that manager tag will mean something with him because we don't want to lose. We don't want to chop and change. Like Dante said, we don't want to chop and change. It won't help us. It won't make us competitive. You need a bit of stability. So fingers crossed, Alonso will be happy and will have the power that he needs, to change the squad.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I think we hope. I think we're all on the same page in terms of what do we expect. We hope that the what he's allowed to do reflects the tag manager and not just be hopefully it's not just on paper, and I believe it's not on paper. Bobby, do you have anything to add to that? But before you do, I want to say hello to my sister there, Wendy, my Ghanaian sister. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the conversation. Sincerely do appreciate you. Much love to you. I hope you are doing well. Where's Wendy's comment? I had it highlighted before. All right, Drew is also here. A lot of people. Let me see. Let me catch up with what I think wow, skipped a lot of stuff. A lot of people joined the conversation. I didn't know. I thought it was just a few, and boom, it was down there. Wendy, nice to have you. I appreciate you for finding the time to join the conversation. Well said, Chelsea Zambia. Chelsea definitely do need to win on the pitch, plus bring in ready-made experienced players. We've been promised that's going to be the case this summer transfer window, and hopefully they keep their promise. Tuku shouldn't have said yes, but he said yes. Unfortunately, if he didn't want Lukaku, yeah, just let the others. I don't. Had he said no to Lukaku, I don't believe Roman would have gone through with the signing of the player. But yeah, let's see what else we have. Yeah, a lot of. I want to say hello to those of you that I haven't said hello to. And my bro is in the house in the blue Tiff game. Always nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join the conversation. He said, Coach, what a glorious day it is. I knew I was going to see you. Had Arsenal won, I'd find you to make sure you're okay. I am exhausted from trolling all the Arsenal fans who have the audacity to wear their shirt in West London today, where were all these butlers throughout the season. Yeah. I mean, God of football saved a lot of people. Big up to you two for joining. Poch wanted to more control, more power, plus he wanted to become a manager rather than a head coach. Poch, whether they allowed him to become that or not, was never going to last at Chelsea. The fans didn't warm up to him, even when he was doing well. Palmer wanted game time. That's why he left Man City. And if we didn't promise him game time, I don't think he would have joined Chelsea. Plus, he didn't want to sit on the bench with Foden as a central attacking midfielder or right winger. Plus, Doku's arrival meant that Palmer had to leave. So, yeah. But nice to see you, my bro. Chelsea indeed. Gratitude 1914. That's my bro there. you've changed your deep. What's your real name there? Adebayo Makunjun Ekubadi, my bro. And what's up, Kishan, my bro, my New York bro? Nice to see you. I appreciate you finding the time to join the conversation. I do hope you're doing well. And Adebayo said Chelsea has a quality problem more than leadership problem. We need quality players with some experience. Let's see what they do in the summer, irrespective of yeah. We all see it differently. I think we just need experience. Do we have quality? We have, but some areas need more quality. So yeah, you're correct. Big up Mabas. What else do we have here? Anybody else that I haven't said hello to? Drew is in the house. Drew says Tobeho Chelsea signing Jared Bowen because he has experience. It's like I'm a piano DJ saying every beat drop. Every beat drop is a hit. And that's a good one. Not all experience is good experience. Sometimes you've just been dancing to the same song for years. Something you say aligns with what Dante said. Some those type of players usually stay at the again in one place for long and hardly ever joins a big club. Modmana is there. Loan who to where? All right, I'm gonna skip quite a few. Okay, bring and to the very bottom. So that's that. We have on the screen that particular statistics that we talked about. 24.7%. Arsenal's possession average. 24.7% was the lowest by a team in the UEFA Champions League final on record since 2003, 2004, as well as their lowest in any match under Mikel Arteta, where they had 11 men on the pitch throughout. Yeah, reactive indeed. Very interesting there. Mikel Arteta, I want to congratulate Paris, Luis Enrique in particular, because they are, in my opinion, the best team in the world. What they are able to do with the ball, with individual actions, I've never seen. I've seen it before. It's not the plan to play in certain areas. Okay, I just don't want to expand that. That's it. I'm done. Okay, back to back. Paris Saint-Germain, Real Madrid 3 in a row, AC Milan back to back, Nottingham Forest. Wow, won it in 79 and then 1980. Liverpool 77 and 78. Bayern Munich 3 in a row, 74, 75 and 76. Dang it. Ajax 71, 72 and 73. Inter Milan 64 and 65. Wow. That's some numbers there. Benfica 61 and 62. And then Real Madrid, yeah, 56, 57, 58, 59 and 1960. Whoosh.
Even a Romanian
Some
team
record
coach
right
won the
there.
Champions League ahead
Yeah,
of
go ahead, go
Arsenal.
ahead.
Even a Romanian team won the Champions League in 1986. Steaua Bucharest, they won the Champions League in 1986, and Arsenal still haven't won one. So yeah,
Yeah. Luis Enrique says we got better in the second half, but when you face Arsenal with their low block, yeah, there you go. Now you're speaking my language. Their physicality and their excellent defending, it's no mean feature we've done. I actually didn't think they were gonna win it, and they could have had it not been that Mikel Arteta. My goodness, he's not it. His tactical ineptitude was the reason why they didn't end up winning that trophy. And here, De Bruyne haven't he cooks Antonio Conte. I think everybody knows Conte is overly pragmatic in my opinion. And what was he thinking signing De Bruyne? Not De Bruyne is cooking him. But I don't think we should read that. Arsenal was so embarrassing. They were. Embarrassed they were,
Coach,
actually. Yeah.
can I just talk a bit about De Bruyne? I think it's very entitled of him to blame the style of play and everything. First of all, he says Conte shouldn't have stayed. I don't agree. Conte was their title winning manager. You can't say a title winning manager shouldn't stay. He's been disappointed by the style of play and everything, but this is a player, first of all, who doesn't seem to agree that he's beyond, that his best days are ahead of him, and he's been injured for the most part of the season. I don't think he's taking accountability, or his own accountability and his own part in Napoli's underwhelming season. I think he's blaming it all on the coach and the style of play. Obviously, the coach has fallen out with the board like he always does because his demands are always high. But I think De Bruyne should take accountability as well for himself. It's entitled. He's not been great there, and it's not because of the style of play. He's barely been fit, and he's just past his best. I mean, try your luck elsewhere.
But did he lie though? Did he lie? That,
I don't agree with him. I don't agree with him. Conte
but
has
did
issues
he
with
lie
the board.
about Conte being a defensive-minded manager?
Conte has won that way, has always won that way. You can
But
say
no, no, we're
Mourinho
not
is
saying. I get it. He's won all that way, but he's still a defensive-minded manager.
Yeah, he's still a defensive minded manager, but he has won that way. And sometimes, even some creative players have succeeded in his system. Not many, but some have succeeded in his system. So, what the issue here is not because of Conte's style of play. I mean, if Conte has an issue with your board, it's because your board is not being ambitious enough because
He
Conte
shouldn't have gone
is
there
a
in the first
winner.
place. I think he
Yeah,
knew
yeah.
how Conte plays. It's not. I agree. I don't think it's Conte. It's just him being a bit of a prima donna, unfortunately, because he knows what
Yeah,
Conte
I
plays and
agree
how
with,
he
but
plays.
what I'm
Everybody knows.
asking, did he lie about Conte? He didn't lie. We
Coach.
all know Dante is an overly pragmatic manager. You could say, AKA, a very defensive manager. That's another way to phrase it. I get it, De Bruyne.
He,
I think
he
you guys
makes it
are
work.
right. You guys are right about calling him prima donna and him not taking accountability. And Charles also did mention actually he wasn't even fit.
He wasn't even fit. I mean, why
Yeah.
is he not looking at himself a bit? You just can't blame the manager for
He's just got a high
everything. The
standards,
manager,
and yeah, he hasn't
Yeah,
experienced
I
losing
think I
very much.
agree. To some extent he's full of himself. Go ahead, Dante, sorry.
He hasn't experienced losing too much, and now he has. And we all know Conte. Conte in the second season, third season, he goes off the boil and leaves usually clubs because he's a very, very full on. So he probably called Conte at the end of his managerial career there, most likely.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's see. All right, Dante, keep or sell, and let's start with Bob. You have anything to add before we start? We go back to the keep, loan, or spell. Let's hear you, Bobby. Anything you want to add?
Anything what to add to the conversation that's just been had, or
Anyway, you want to come? You want to? We talked about what? Where did we stop? We talked about discussed. What was the last thing again? We went. You could
well,
say we
Well, we
digressed a
veered off
lot.
topic a bit, but yeah.
all I
the
gather
manager.
from what's been said, because I've listened to this type of conversation many times before. I think the important thing to recognize is that although football is quite a unique employment structure, just like any other employment, there is a job description to be fulfilled and certain responsibilities within that job description, which form part of your contract. Now, any of these managers coming to Chelsea, you cannot expect in any modern club to come in and just, unless you've been at the club like 10 years, like Guardiola at Man City. And even then, there is a system and a structure to which you have to adhere to. That's why Maresca is coming in, and the player is the Elliot Anderson that they're chasing in midfield. The chase continues. There is always a certain amount of dictation in every top club coming from the sporting directors. That's or director. That's why the sporting director is very, very, very important In Chelsea's case, I'm still waiting for a head or two to roll, but they've decided to continue to stick with them. They've done some good things, yes, but they've done a lot of bad things as well. So, however, the Chelsea project is not going to change per se. It's just going to be tweaked. And by that, you don't be surprised if they bring in one or two mature players of Xavi Alonso's choice. Now, we're assuming a lot of things, like there's a lot of assumption about the role of Pochettino and Maresca. I'm not saying the assumptions are wrong. I just think, they came in agreeing one thing, and as they progressed, they saw startlingly that they needed to make some adjustments and they pushed for it. But the sporting directors, wrongly in my view, dug their heels in too much and continued down the path of bringing in players like Garnacho, for example, to Maresca. Now, that's all water under the bridge. It's happened. Now he's a bit of a problem. But whoever told you that Xabi Alonso actually wants these quote unquote mature players? He may be quite satisfied with maturity being in terms of exposure rather than age. Because from what I'm reading and seeing, he's very, very much interested in Arthur Gula, and he's only 21 years old. So, but he's very experienced in terms of playing with Madrid and on the continental field. So only time will tell. Will he have an input into recruitment? Absolutely. But will he come in and be able to totally alter the structure? No, he won't. Nobody can. Guardiola couldn't do it at City. City have their structure. Enrique, he can't even do it at PSG. They have their structure. Now, when you come in agreeing with the structure, and then later on, if you are the quote unquote manager, you may be able to influence certain changes that may deviate slightly from the structure from season to season. But anyone, if you're expecting someone to come in and then go back to the days where we had a team full of 28, 29 year olds, that's not going to happen at Chelsea. I don't even want it to happen. I
And
think
that's
what
actually
we
what modern teams do these days.
yeah, I don't even want it to happen because if we can see what's happened with PSG is they've got a whole load of youngsters, but they've got enough of a sprinkle of the older, more mature players to make them an effective team. Now, I don't think we can fully be like that because, as I keep saying, we have to include some serious physicality. But if we sprinkle in, for example, I mean, this is still just speculation, Gerard Bowen into the team at the age of 29 with a 2, maybe 3 year contract, I think it can only help. And that will be a deviation from the rigidity of the project that they had when they were barely looking at anybody over the age of 20. So that's just it. It's an interesting conversation, but without actually sitting next to the manager and watching him sign the contract and be part of the conversation, I think it remains speculative to say that he is being influenced by of all the players coming in. I think the players have to be run by him, and he will. Even the likes of Maresca, Pochettino, they had some influence in accepting or rejecting players.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Bobby, for that. That was very, very articulate, and I appreciate that. So we're gonna go, but before I do that, any news on? We've talked about Leao. I wouldn't want him at Chelsea. I don't know whether to believe the news. Nothing serious about Wharton, except if anything, something new emerged that I haven't seen. Other than that, I think nothing. Charles, over to you. So Tariq George, what would you like Chelsea to do with him? You could say you can see the tier list there. Let's hear you. And what's up to you too, Jeremy? You know we expanded with the live quiz. 5 more days. I think it'll be ending soon. Then we'll start the second aspect of it, for lack of a more accurate term there. But yeah, let's hear you. Charles.
Tyreek George,
Tariq George,
Tyreek
yeah.
George. Okay, just before, can I just under a minute just talk about Bobby's point before I go to
Yeah, go
Tyreek
ahead.
George? Yeah, personally, it's not uh the system being tweaked for me. It's not about what I would like to see. Isn't even about older, experienced players. I just want players that Alonso thinks would do well for his system signed. I mean, we've seen what these sporting directors can do. We've seen what they've done, and it's cost us a lot. And we need another squad overhaul, more like a squad overhaul, because I think we need quality everywhere on the pitch. So if Alonso wants a 16-year-old and he thinks that 16-year-old can make a difference in the team, I want that player. So it's not about the age, it's about his input, because I think these sporting directors, they need someone who's been in the game like Alonso to help them. They've underwhelmed, and we need a bit of a different head to, help them and guide them. I'm not saying he's better than them at their job, but he might know a player or two that can make the system better, that can deliver better than what they've done in the last few years. So for me, it's not about age, it's about influence, it's about
Okay.
input, and I think he needs to have great input. Looking at where we are and what we've done, the money we've spent, and everything, I think we need to give him much, much, much greater influence. Coming to Tariq George, I think at Everton he hasn't gotten the minutes that we as a club would have wanted for him to get, that him as a player would have wanted to get. So I would sell if Everton come back with a suitable offer. I would sell with a buyback or first refusal, anything that guarantees that should he blow up, because he's a big talent. I saw what he could do in the academy. There were flashes even at Chelsea. I think he strikes the ball well. I think he attacks spaces well. I think his dribbling can improve. He's got potential. So if we can sell or loan, if we can sell, include the buyback clause.
Did we lose him? All right, for me, I would say Tariq George. I'd say sell him. I think his loan contract, the Everton deal, does include. I don't not with an obligation for permanent purchase, but for a purchase. And we're hearing they're still considering buying him on a permanent. So I'd say sell him. But Dante, let's hear you, Tariq George.
Yeah, I agree. I think like the last couple of games of the season, I think he played. I saw him play the last game. He had a really, really good game for uh, Everton. He actually looked like a completely different player than he normally did, which was very interesting to see. Um, yeah, look, I think I don't see him having a position, especially with no European football. You know, if we had Conference League or Europa, then you can maybe promise him some game time. But obviously, one game a week, we're not having any European football. Yeah, there's no point bringing him back. I think he definitely needs to go. Probably a sell as well. Yeah, definitely sell with a buyback or yeah, some sort of clause in there just to cover your like we've done with most of our deals. They've done those pretty well. Usually covered. Just in case that player gets really good, then we can get him back first, or there's a big sell-on clause or anything that will help the club. And it works out for both parties. But I think it's time for him to move because he's not going to get any game time next season if he stays at Chelsea. So yeah, definitely, I think sell. He's also at that age now that he's not like a 18-year-old, 19 that he can sit back and he needs to play now a bit more. He's hitting in his 20s, so he needs to start playing more. So see if he can do it on a consistent, and a bit more consistently and play a number of games one after another, not just every now and then one game. So that should be the next step in his career, definitely. Sell, I think. Yep.
Yeah, I would say so. Selling him will aid his development quite a lot. Keep Judge, bro. With yeah, exactly. Good question. In my opinion, I think we won't see transfer until after the World Cup. No, I think we'll be working on some already. We could
Probably
actually.
mixed.
Sorry.
It'll probably be mixed because, yeah,
Yeah, it'll be mixed. Yeah, a few
yeah.
after the World Cup, a few before the World Cup ends. Yeah. The only trophy Arsenal can win the Temu version. All right, let's hear you, Bobby. Your thoughts. Tariq George, keep, loan, sell, or keep.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame about Tyreek George. Personally, this is my personal opinion. I couldn't see the value in bringing in somebody like Garnacho in replacement of him. I don't think it's an upgrade to him in any way, shape, or form. And that's a big compliment to him. However, the fact that he couldn't get regular time at Everton is just testimony to the fact that he is indeed a developing player. Now, what is Chelsea going to do with him? What are they going to do in terms of the squad going into next season? Look, if Chelsea is going to do what I pray and hope they do, and that is balance the squad, then definitely he's going to need to go away, because he's not going to get any game time. But if he happens to come into the Chelsea squad for pre-season and Alonso takes a look at him and sees, look, this guy can be very useful to me, then I would certainly have him on the left before a lot of the players we've had already playing there. But he's not quite there yet. So I don't see that happening. And I have to go along with you all and say he needs to be sold with a decent clause, a buyback clause preferably, or both buyback and sell on clause.
I agree with you because these days a straight loan doesn't really work. And the Blue Game says that, Coach, I am assuming you think we're bringing a lot of players to replace these sales, or is this completely hypothetical? Here's the thing: we don't need to bring a replacement for all of them because we don't have European assignment. We don't need to. A lot of them, like, we don't need a replacement for a lot of them, really. If we had a European assignment, then yeah, we'll be discussing the replacements too. You remember when Giroud took a dig at Arsenal, saying "Thank you, Arsenal," by holding the Europa League. All right, let's see. Estavo starter for me. I think it's going to be pivotal next season. I'm just gonna drop in there. I don't no need to even ask any of you, but if you wanna talk about Estavo 26, 27, I think it's gonna be very, very important for us, and I think he's gonna be one of the starting players. Anybody on the panel wanna add anything to that?
Guaranteed starter? Probably. I don't know if that will be the case. Depends who comes in, because you're gonna have Palmer. You think he'll be the guaranteed starter in that position, more on the right hand side, in that right hand side attacking midfield player. So
I mean, Palmer can operate centrally as one of the tens.
yeah, but it's a left AMF and a right AMF. They can interchange, but still it matters because left foot cutting in, the angles matter. So Palmer's always going to drift more to the right and cut in on his left because again, like I was saying, we have a lot of left footers that are going to do that. So that's why we need a right footer as well to balance that out a bit and makes it a bit more harder for the defenders as well. Game film you watch, like last season, I kept saying, if you watch one tape of game film on Madueke, you know how to mark him pretty much no problem because he's always going to do the same thing, and that's exactly what he did because he's always going to cut back and do exactly that. So we need that balance, and I'm sure Alonso will see that. Probably the directors are looking at. We've had that information come out that we are looking predominantly for a right-footed, especially a more right-footed player as well because of that. So I don't think Esteval will be a guaranteed starter because I still think it'll be Palmer and whoever we sign in that position. Will he be starting a lot of games? Yes, but a guaranteed starter, I don't think so quite yet.
But at
Again,
least
he'll have,
he falls into the category of Stardust.
yeah,
I
I guess
agree.
you, yeah, it's
I
hard to
totally
say.
agree.
It's very hard to say because yeah, if you it depends how we're categorizing a coach. Are we putting guaranteed starter or just starter? He's going to start a lot of games.
No,
I think
I have to agree. You know, Chelsea fans, they get a little bit too overexcited. This boy is he's 18 now, next season 19, maybe
Yeah,
19 and a bit. You're not going to rest the whole weight of a club on his shoulders. We tried that nonsense this season and he ended up injured, and when he was off injured, we were at a loss. He's far too young. He's going to
And
be
he did
coming
show
off the bench.
immaturity on the pitch too.
Yes,
yeah,
he
he
is,
wasn't
but
very good
allow him
for.
to develop. You know, he's going to be coming off the bench quite a bit. He needs to be given time. There's no club in the world that would have him starting, unless certainly not in Europe, not on the top tier clubs in Europe. You have to blood these youngsters and not just put them on, and because you like the way they play one or two games, then you use him as if he's your main guy. I know people will
Not in the
refer
Premier
to
League, no.
Yamal. Yeah, certainly not in the Premier League. I know people refer to Yamal and one or two others. Yes, but yet again, look at the leagues in which they play. Is it Doué in France, Yamal in Spain, that relatively has only two or three teams, and they all live for the Champions League games that they play. Whereas we have seen the Premier League is blood and thunder. The league itself is 100%. Your cup games is 100%. The lower the opposition you have, the more they're going to tax you on the field. So he will have some starts, but to come out and with full chest and say Esteval William has to be a starting player at Chelsea, I think is very unwise, and it's not going to happen. Not next season.
Wouldn't it be more accurate to say we have to protect him?
We do, of course we
um,
do. It'll be
coach,
irresponsible if we don't.
Yeah.
the way I see it, I don't think we are going to sign a player um, that's going to block minutes from him directly in the right wing position.
Well, we have
I
one already
think
coming in.
more like what Dante said. If it's like we are more likely to use Palmer there than sign another player because the club really believe in his talent. They know he could explode
Charles,
at
we've
any
got one
point.
coming in that could maybe even take his spot. You never know.
I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening. I think
Okay.
if we if
And
I'm not
remember, he can
necessarily
play 10 as well. He can play
yeah,
10.
yeah, yeah, I'm not saying he'll be a guaranteed starter, but if he's not a guaranteed starter, I see the club using an internal solution like they've done with Neto. I mean, if Neto stays, he could still start the season starting, but Esteval, I see him having a much bigger role to play this season than last season. I see him getting more starts. I see him getting more responsibility. It's a year-on thing for Estevao, I think. I
Pretty
think
much, yeah.
this season, if he stays fit, the club will be thinking this is the season he could explode. So I don't really think they'll sign a player to block that possibility. I think they'll keep Neto or even start Palmer there, and get Estevao the
You're
healthy
forgetting
minutes.
Quenda as well. That's why I say Quenda's coming in as well for that position.
We don't really know what position he's coming in for. He's an
Wing
option on the
back.
right.
I'd say Quenda is mainly wing back.
Yeah, so we're not really sure where Kenda will play, so we'll have to see. But what's certain is that Esteval will have a much bigger role to play this season. He'll look at Ryan at Bournemouth, and how he's settled in. He's come in and made an impact straight in the Premier League. So I agree the league is tough and everything, but it's not like you can't come in as an 18-year-old and kill it. I mean, Ngumoa, every time he comes on, he's being protected by Liverpool. But every time he comes on, you see what he's able to do. Straight from the academy, he's able to beat his marker. He's able to, look dangerous and everything. There's always a bit of immaturity with these young kids, but I don't see the Premier League as that insurmountable league where a young player can't make an impact. Even Esteval has done really, really well for us. He's shown immaturity at times, but he's done really, really well. He's had games where he's even looked unplayable. That cup game against Arsenal, he was cooking timber. The Barcelona game, he's had very good games. Crystal Palace away, he's given us something that we can build on. So yeah, I don't think they're going to sign a player to block him, and they'll give him a much, much bigger role. Maybe not guaranteed starter initially, obviously, but
But he's gonna be playing.
he'll
I
have a
mean,
much.
I think I'd rather go with we're not gonna overplay him. We're not gonna put say the weight of the club on his shoulders. No, he's gonna even Cole Palmer. We're not gonna do that. I think he's gonna be playing. They're all gonna get to play, but I'm not sure how else to phrase it. But you get the point. It's not gonna be like he'll become the main guy, but he will play a huge role for
Not
us next
initially,
season.
not initially, not initially. He'll do that when he shows that he's able to shoulder that responsibility, and it can happen anytime from now. Like I think is this the second season at Chelsea, he'll be looking to explode when he gets the chances, when he stays fit. I think he'll be looking to explode. So we'll see.
We'll see what Alonso does. And just quickly, the microphone, let's see what they say. Say, let's add some rules. Coach, let's add some rules to this. We must have a starting 11 and a backup for each position. It appears that we are a bit short on the left. Okay, I think we're going to do that differently because we're in the part three of this one and we're trying to get it done today. We don't want to stretch this anymore. We're going to do a show where we focus on the starting 11 and then, second 11. I think it will make sense. Who's Modman fighting with? Maron Hughes here says, why do we want Bowen? He is a right winger. We don't need another one. I still take him and make it work because he's experienced. All right, let's see. Kenda is half the player Estevao is. I don't think they're the same. They're different. They're different. There are things Kenda can do, Estevao cannot do, in my opinion. Kenda is more physical. Let's start. Let's just stick with that. Kenda is immature in his gameplay. Okay. I don't think so, but that's my opinion anyway. Maybe you've watched him more than I do. Kenda is a Victor Moses type of player, but left-footed. I think he's more technically gifted than Victor Moses. Kenda rejected United because he didn't want to play wing back. Big up the chat. Probably Manla Hughes, thank you for saying that. He's still going to play wing back. Kenda isn't a wing back. He doesn't like to play there. He doesn't like to play there, but that's where I've seen him play a lot. Maybe I need to watch
They
him
move
even
him
more.
around, so he plays.
They move him around too. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes he plays wing back, sometimes he plays in the 10. Sometimes he's played
Sometimes right wing, left wing.
Yeah, but mostly wing back and 10 because that's how they played that formation there as well, basically the Alonso formation. So yeah, so he's had experience in that 10 and that wing back. He gets rotated.
And I'm just happy we have him, really.
Yeah, I'm expecting quite a lot from him. I think he's got the physicality and the body for the Premier League and that strength that you need, that power. So I think he could become a very, very important player very quickly for Alonso's system.
Yeah, I agree with you. Kenda also can play left wing. I agree. Yep. Let's see. Are we linked with Bowen? Yeah, we are. And let me see here. And the Blue TV game says if Bowen can match his stats for last season at Chelsea, then bring him. Why not? He's performed consistently, season in, season out. He's been performing 100%. Mikel Arteta said on Saturday we're going to be the Champions League, champions of Europe. That comment didn't age well. Yeah, congratulations to them.
But you know, one thing I really want to
He does
see.
have 20 GA for the season in the Premier League. Born.
That's why I'm saying he's performed consistently, season in, season out. He's been performing. Go ahead, Bobby.
One thing I really, really want to see. I don't know why it hasn't been done. And if someone like Enzo goes, it may need to be done. I personally believe that Josh Achimpong can be converted into midfield. He's done that for us and he's done it exceptionally well. And I think putting him in defensive midfield, he has the stature, the finesse, the ability on the ball of a quote unquote Busquets. I think that could well be his calling, which he's ignoring for a centre back position.
Wow, that's very high praise,
That is
Bobby.
high praise indeed, I know, because he himself is only 18, 19 years old. But I would love to see if Xavi Alonso could be that manager who can come in and bring out that potential from that boy. That he has the height that the club needs in midfield. He has the ball playing skills. The extra physicality will come with age. He's still a bit spindly, but he's a defender. So he's quick on the ball. He's a ball winner. He has all the attributes. He just needs to be coerced and coached into that position. That's just my personal point of view. And I'd be very happy if Alonso could do that because that will solve a lot of problems for us.
Yeah. Okay. Deborah Makunjo is saying signing Bowen to do what? We need first team needle movers. What is this mediocrity? Okay, who would you rather we sign? Mention the person and tell us why you don't
Probably
like
Leo.
Bowen.
He'll choose Leo over Bowen,
Yeah.
probably.
And I've said Bowen is underrated. Maybe you
Bowen's
don't watch West Ham United. You haven't watched.
yeah,
He's underrated.
He's had over
Yeah.
20 GA every season,
Every
basically. Bowen.
season. So I think the biggest problem, Dante, in my opinion, he's not the fanciest of players. That's why a lot of fans don't rate him. But if you understand football, in my opinion, and look at his numbers, how consistent he's been for West Ham United, you would want him at Chelsea. It would be good still, actually, if we can get him for a good price. He can be a squad player, and if he gets a chance, he gets the job done. And if he proves he should be starting over certain players, then so be it. Yeah. Let's see. What else do we have here?
Imagine Jared
I'd
Bowen
love.
starting.
Go ahead. Is this mine? Everybody's getting knocked out. I'd love a Tonelli or Bruno at midfield. Okay, those aren't bad options, but it looks like everybody said Bobby has a better connection than two of them. Dante, what are you? Are you at McDonald's? Dante, it's knocked out. All right, Charles, I'm gonna come to you. Jesse Derry, I'd say send him out on loan, a dry loan. So that next season, if we get Champions League football, or get European assignment, then he can be part of the squad. And then I'd send Jesse Derry out on loan because if he stays, it'd be a bit tight for him. He's not going to get too many game time. Then go for a dry loan. Come back when we have Champions League football. I was looking at Somerville, but that was pure eye test. But Bowen has the numbers, the experience, and everything. Why no? I'll take him. But at that point, Kunju, you're entitled to your opinion. If you don't want him, that's you. I would gladly welcome Bowen at Chelsea for reasons I've explained, and that's me, really. So for me, Jesse Derry, send him out on a dry loan. Dante, your thoughts? No need to sell him now on a dry loan and see, and if we could get European football next season, see if we have a place for him, or maybe sell him with an option for a buyback or something like that. But let's hear you, Dante.
Yeah, probably loan. I don't think he's gotten enough exposure to be sold right now. It wouldn't be for much. Um, he had that one game he came on, so looked good, but you needed quite a bit more than that to get a sale usually. So, you never know, he might be one of the surprise that he might stay. But yeah, I'm pretty sure he'll probably go on loan because of it, because there's no other football to be played. We're not going to have European football. So if we had Conference League, it would have been perfect to keep a player like that and, play him every week and see what he's got. But yeah, no, I think he definitely needs to be loaned out. He's not going to get much game time at all.
Yeah, Charles, how about you? Jesse Derry. Dry loan for me, dry loan for Dante. How about you? Okay, looks like he's busy. Bobby, what would you like the club to do with Derry? Send him out on loan, sell him, or keep him?
It's an interesting thing. I think a lot of this will depend on who is retained in the squad and what the squad looks like. In every, by every metric, it seems without European football, the most logical thing to do is to send him on loan. But I'm very cautious of this saying, oh, this player won't get game time, this player won't get game time, because if anything, the past 3, 4 seasons has taught us that really is off the mark because injuries, suspensions, and all that sort of thing come into the mix, and you find that you end up wishing you hadn't sent XYZ out on loan. I'm not saying this is the Jesse Derry case. I see the value on him having a season loan somewhere profitable, maybe to a Coventry or something like that. Wow, I know Lampard would love to have him there. And then, please God, we're back in the Champions League and then he comes back into the fold. That would be the ideal situation for him. But we must be very cautious in thinking that several players will not get game time because the name of the game in the Premier League is squad, not first team. And even without European football, you need the squad to give you excellent cup runs and so on. So it's a fine balance. The squad will still have to be the same in numbers, maybe a little bit less, but we must have some in reserve, unlike what we've been doing in the past.
Yeah, and I think we're not going to discuss every player. There are some academy players on there that we don't even need to discuss. It just wouldn't make sense. Are you letting Gusto go? Let's get to Gusto. We'll talk about him. Says I wish we could get Lewis Hall back. Do I think it happens? Rumors suggest we're actually interested in bringing him back. Some subsequent rumors suggest that's not true. We're not sure what's going to happen. So let's see. Mudrik, I'm not sure what to even say there. I think we'll better off leave him out because the club will have to decide first. I did see a report suggesting that Chelsea are in the process of terminating his contract, which I don't believe. It's from an account that I don't trust. So, but let's talk about Robert Sanchez, high profile. I'd say keep, and again, that's my opinion. But Bobby, let's say Robert Sanchez, I think he's improved. I think if anything, he continues to improve. Honestly, everything comes down to the manager's demands of him. If you simplify
Yeah,
things, he'll be your best player on the pitch on any given day. But if you
I
complicate things, he's bound to make a high profile
mistakes.
mistake. Go ahead, Bobby.
Yeah, I think as a fan base, we tend to sort of beat the same drum without really thinking about it. Things change. Players do different things, and to be fair and honest with Robert Sanchez, he saved us a lot last season. There were some hidings we could have got, but for the saves of Sanchez. Sanchez is a very good shot stopper. He's not bad with penalties. He's beginning to become good at claiming aerial balls. He's a good goalkeeper. He's at the right age. He's a bit of a leader in the dressing room. Personally, I will keep him. let Jorgensen go and either promote Slonina to number two or bring in Penders. I don't think we have a need for a goalkeeper unless you want this madness of playing out from the back. And I'm not sure Penders really has that button down. I think that is a weakness to Sanchez. If you put him under pressure to do that, he will make mistakes. We've seen it. But if you allow him to use his own judgment to do that when it's needed and to play long when it's needed, he looks like an excellent goalkeeper in my view.
Yeah, Penda's much better on the ball. Robert Sanchez a much better shot stopper. Robert Sanchez better at claiming the ball aerially. Penda's, even as tall as he is, haven't quite mastered that. I think you were one of those that picked out. That was a video we watched at the time that you were able to catch the moment where a ball was put into the box and he was waiting for it, wasn't proactive, and had the opposition player that leaped for it, got into it, I think the ball would have gone into the back of the net. So that's lack of experience. I think eventually he will get that. He's good on the ball, and also he's capable of making excellent saves. But need to start doing those consistently, in my opinion. So yeah, but Robert Sanchez, I'd say keep. Pendas, I'd say also keep since Jorgensen is leaving. So two of them together. Let's hear you, Dante.
Yeah, and Alonso, he's the keeper he had as well. It was mixed, so you got to play a little bit at the back, but it's not always necessary because you have an outlet to go wide, because the wing backs are coming back, and also you always had a striker that you can give it to up front as well to give the ball as an outlet as well, like Boniface, etc. More powerful sort of striker that can win those headers and get the ball down as well. So yeah, it's not 100% necessary in his system to be a ball playing goalkeeper. That's no. So Sanchez will fit in that sense, and so will Penders very well. Both of them will, I think they'll be just fine. I don't think that will be such a high emphasis anymore. So yeah, I think they'll both be fine, and I think it looks like the decision's been made that Penders will come back, and because Jorgensen is going to leave, so looks like those will be the two keepers. Most likely that'll probably be maybe Slanina will stay as a third, or I probably think he'll probably be sold or moved on because he's a bit too old now. I don't think he's going to stay. He'll probably one of the academy ones will probably be a third keeper like we've seen. So yeah, those two will be the keeper going in next season. I don't see any way Sanchez is sold.
Yeah, we're just gonna go straight to Cucurella. Bobby Arthur's Marc Cucurella. I think he leaves, and the main driving factor for his departure, in my opinion, would be the length of his current contract. 2 years left on his current contract, a huge risk. There's still a possibility if the club really wants to keep him, they can get him to sign, and he wants to stay. More importantly, I think they can convince him to sign a new long-term contract, and he ends up staying. We've been there before. But right now, I think he's most likely leaving. That's my opinion anyway. But Bobby, let's hear you. So I'd say sell right now. Don't risk a lot, since he also wants to leave, according to rumors. But that's my opinion. But let's hear you, Bobby.
I don't devalue what you say. I do see it differently in that the club has to think differently. I don't think him having 2 years in his contract left is of any consequence. This club is on a must do situation. They have to win. They have to have players of experience and capability of winning, of which Cucurella is one of them. We forget that Xavi is a Spaniard. Cucurella is a Spaniard. He's going to have a interest in having Cucurella with him. Not to mention that Cucurella is an excellent player. I think he will talk to him before any decision is made to offload Cucurella. I really do. And it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if he remains at Chelsea. I don't think that a player who has given so much service to the club will just be so willing to leave like that. It's not really how football works. The last time we had this conversation, I told you that he will have either they will do a deal, either a contract extension or something, and that's what happened. And I still stand on that premise. Cucurella, just like many players, was unhappy with the instability in the Chelsea management structure and the offloading on a manager that gave them so much and had built up the team into potentially a winning force. Now, with Xavi coming in, his countryman, and if I may remember rightly, they may have even played together at some point when Cucurella was very young. I'm not sure, and I wouldn't hold my neck out on that. But all I know is that he would respect the fact that this guy was a very successful Spanish international, a European Championship winner, and a World Cup winner with Spain. He's going to listen to him. I would keep, but I think that is very much dependent on Cucurella himself. If Cucurella is convinced that there is value in staying at Chelsea, the fact that he has 2 years left of contract means nothing. This ownership is compelled to do something different. And if they have to allow him to run down his contract to get the full value off of him, I think they will do that.
I was going to ask you that because clubs do that sometimes,
Oh,
but
yeah.
not necessarily because they're open to letting the player leave as a free agent. They do that knowing that there's a possibility the player ends up leaving as a free agent, and there's also a chance they convince him to extend.
Yeah, extend +1.
Yeah.
Look what Real Madrid did with Rudiger. It's very possible, especially if we get back into the Champions League and he sees some significant progress under Xavi Alonso. I think he will be one of the key people that Xavi will use in that dressing room. I think there is a strong chance that he will stay.
And I don't think it makes sense to allow his contract length drive our decision making because we're here to decide, okay, what would be best for the club.
Absolutely. We can't
Yeah.
afford to do that anymore, coach. We can't afford to do that. More especially if Enzo goes. Enzo is another egg on their face. It's a huge egg on their face. You spent 106 million, a record on a player, and you could not motivate that player to continue with your project because you effed up so much. It's an embarrassment. It's an indictment if it happens. So I don't see them letting Cucurella go that easily. I don't even see them letting Enzo go that easily. And with the price tag, you can see that. But with the whole Arthur Gula discussion and so on,
It's a
Chomeni, not so
possibility.
much. Yeah, but Kamavinga is another one. I think it is a slim possibility, but it's still a possibility.
Dante, I know, as I've mentioned, I don't think it makes sense to let his contract length wield any measure of influence with regards to whether the club should keep him or not, because we're here to discuss what would be best for the club. Let's not look at his contract length, but if you want to talk, they also talk about the possibility of him staying. You go ahead, but I'd rather we keep him irrespective of the fact that Barco is coming, who's also can fulfill that left back role, left wing back, or left attacking midfield role. But let's hear you, Dante. I think we should keep Cucurella if we can.
Oh, that'll be the plan to keep him. I'm sure they will try that. Now that's up to Cucurella, obviously, if he's got plans or he wants to just make that change. Well, I don't think the club will get in his way if he wants to make that change. And like you said, that he's only got 2 years left on the deal, so it's not going to be an Enzo situation. It's not 120 million, 100 million plus. It's half of that basically, probably even a little bit around that sort of mark. So hopefully they keep him, and look, he's going to add a lot of value, like Bobby said, with Alonso. Alonso will be very keen to keep him. being Spanish as well, that's going to help a lot. So
And we could see him stay, but
I
maybe
think
with
he
the
could
risk of him
stay.
and or with the risk of him leaving
You
as
can
a free
still,
agent.
Cucurella's still the type of player, even though you keep him next year and he runs down to 1 year left on his contract, you can still sell him the following season and you still get money for him. Yeah, you're not probably going to get, 60 million or whatever, 70 million, but you probably still will get 45 million for a player if he keeps that level, because he's the top two left back in the world. If he keeps that level next year as well, well, he's not going less than probably 50 anyway. It doesn't matter. 45, 50. He's not going to go less than that anyway, even if he's got 1 year left on his contract. So uh, they definitely need to keep him, and he can be convinced if he goes really well with Alonso, and we get back where we need to be, and it's going really well. Some of the new signings come in, and he clicks really well. Well, he might want to stay as well, but yeah, look, the club has that option there. There's a bit of flexibility. I don't, I think, you know, we didn't put that outlay on Cucurella like we did on Enzo. We didn't spend, a record like him in Caicedo. It was half of that. So, you don't need to make that much money back. So I think they can risk definitely keeping him another year.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to drag Enzo Fernandez to stay. The club would want to keep him. They've made that clear, and I would want him to stay. But yeah, we don't no need to even discuss that. Actually, he's one of our best players. Andrea Santos, I'd say also, yeah, rotation. He can be that for me. Your thoughts, Dante? Andreas?
Yeah, he'll be a rotational piece. Next stage of his development to hopefully takes another little step, a little bit more, maybe a little bit more game time, and we'll see how he goes. Yeah, like we said last show, his progression is slow, and I think he likes it that way as well. You can see he's quite a mature guy, so yeah, I think he'll fit very nicely
Steady.
in that
His
rotation. Yeah.
progression is slow but steady.
Story by steady, yes, yes. Like I said, he's very mature for his age. He's quite a mature, has a bit of the leadership about him as well. Like I said, he's his second kid on the way already at his young age. So, yeah, look, I think he's gave a couple of interviews and he absolutely looks like you can see the way he speaks about it that he's really enjoying it and he likes the challenge, but you can see that he likes every time he's said an interview, basically saying that he's taking another little step in the right direction. So, yeah, I think he's got the right attitude, and I think he'll be a very important player in a couple of years' time. I think.
Yeah, Bobby, Andrea Santos, you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, surprise, surprise. I have to agree. Chelsea's very blessed with the midfielders we have. There's absolutely no question about it. Um, um, I think they will try and persuade Enzo Fernandez. There is a good possibility because there is this sort of Spanish speaking access in the Chelsea team, in the whole kind of Cucurella, Sanchez, Enzo. I've forgotten who else is a Spanish speaker. Then we have the Portuguese speakers. But that is a strong access, and with somebody of the Spanish national team background, he's not Argentinian, but they all speak the same language. They all come from the same culture, and they will all understand each other. I think Alonso can very much be pivotal to persuading Enzo, who we all know is very much a key part of this new Chelsea backroom. His dressing room, I mean, he's very influential. I understand he's not so vocal, but he is very influential. Now, whether he stays or not is left to be seen, but Andre Santos is definitely somebody who will take his development with both hands, just as Dante has said. One of the best things about the midfielders Chelsea have is that with this new manager, they can rotate the 10 positions. They can all play 10, All of them, perhaps even less so Moises, but I've been made to understand even Esugo can play that upper offensive midfield role. Definitely Santos does. We've seen Enzo play it a lot. And Moises, well, he's more of a sitter and a destroyer in the middle. This is why I am such an advocate. I will say this again. It's just my idea, but every time I've said convert a player, I have to say I've got the track record to show that it works. I mentioned converting the much hated Conor Gallagher into midfield. And when he was converted into midfield, if there's anything that gave him a little bit of mercy in the fan base, was that he was very effective there for us. And now he's made a career of that position. I maintain that Josh Achipong can be our Busquets if we give him that time. And that will help, only help the likes of Andre Santos. Sale or keep, definitely keep, not even loan. He has to be part of the first team squad.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Lucula here says, I cannot understand how you could defend Sanchez. For me, keeping Sanchez would mean Chelsea board don't want progress. It's just your opinion. Who would you rather we sign over Robert Sanchez? And I'd like you to go take your time, compare that person's statistic to that of Robert Sanchez. Yeah. I was one of those that didn't want the club to let him go. Then I realized if you simplify things, and I think Alonso will simplify things, they don't overdo it. If you simplify things, he'll be all right. And as Bobby mentioned, let him decide when to keep it on the carpet and when to go for long balls or when to release the ball quickly, when to hold on to it. So I don't know. You're entitled to feel like we shouldn't keep him, but if you look at numbers, you'd realize, yeah, we should actually keep him. What goalkeeper? Once again, who would you rather sign? And even Menya, as good as Chelsea fans believe he is, 2 seasons in a row, Robert Sanchez has performed better than him. But the Bluetooth game says Mike Mayer would improve our defense and light a fire on the Sanchez who could use a depth. I agree. That's another way to see it, but I wouldn't advocate for us selling Sanchez. He's proven that he's a good goalkeeper. The competition would be fierce like Czech and Kudicini. Yeah, the competition definitely will be fierce and it will help him. I
He
wouldn't
won't stay.
advocate for.
If Manan comes
Sorry?
in, Sanchez is not staying.
I mean, if he doesn't want competition, then he can go.
No, I'm just saying, in my opinion, he would go. I don't see him staying if a number
No, I
one
understand
comes.
your point. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he wouldn't stay because he would get a lot of offers, for other clubs to be a starting goalkeeper. So I don't think he would stay as a number two because if you do sign, say, Magnon, yeah, you can say you're bringing competition and they can. You're not signing Magnon. First of all, Magnon wouldn't come here to compete with Sanchez. He would come here to be the number one, and vice versa with Sanchez.
And
He wouldn't
with
stay.
our European football, I don't think we're signing Maignan now.
And
No, we don't
honestly,
need to.
to add to that, Dante, I've seen Mignon. I've seen both of them in the flesh, albeit it was a friendly. But you learn a lot in friendlies. Honestly, Mignon, he's not all that to Sanchez. He's not. Even this so-called playing out from the back. It's one thing to do it in certain European leagues. It's quite another thing to do it with a Premier League set of forwards breathing down your neck. I'm not sure about that one. I don't fancy it. I can't see it. I think that ship has sailed now. I was also on the bandwagon of Sanchez going when we were last season linked with Maignan. Then I saw them both play, and I was like, well, what's the difference between these guys?
And
If
more
anything,
importantly, Sanchez improved.
Sanchez improved considerably. And what he does, which I like, which is so important, Sanchez catches balls for crosses, high balls, this long throws. He comes out and claims, and he takes a lot of pressure off the team. And we forget the number of times, there's some teams that could have absolutely thrashed us. but for the saves of Sanchez. Yes, people crucified him for the Man United penalty and getting sent off and that. He has those moments. But as we keep saying, Sanchez has uh, 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 calamity moments when you're putting him under too much pressure. If you give him too much to do as a goalkeeper, instead of working with his instincts, he gets confused. That I can't describe it any other way. And then he does silly things. And if it's true that Xavi is not going to be that guy to put him under that much pressure, I don't see any value in changing Sanchez at this time. It's important to keep him and then maybe have your understudy like Penders coming up in a year or two's time behind him.
Yeah. All right. Thanks so much for that. Let's see what we have here. Give me a second. That's a lot. All right. Lasula says Sal Sanchez and Jorgensen, how even you call him, and bring in the Belgian stripe. Pendas is coming back. We'll see what happens when he comes back. Jorgensen definitely is leaving. Cucurella, I will be happy to keep him, but I am going to have to sell him since he has been twerking for return to Spain. Not necessarily. He just said he will one day, just something to that effect. But we've heard that he wants to go, but he's just not as pronounced as what we're hearing about Enzo Fernandez. Cucurella stays. It's European. Yeah, he's a European champion. I agree. Let's see. Chelsea, okay, I'm not reading from what Mana is saying. Sari's man was Jorginho. Alonso's man will be Cucurella. Simple. Not if we sign Xhaka. But we speaking, let's see
Depends what they
Cucurella.
do in the World Cup as well. Spain. Imagine they win it with Cucurella left back, etc. Well,
Yeah.
that changes things quite a bit.
Yeah, I agree. He says he will have a fantastic World Cup again. I think he will. He's the best left back. What else do we have? Yeah, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. We need him. A lot of the top attackers in the Premier League come down that side of the pitch. Ask Saka. That's some observation right there. Santos stays. I think Santos stays too. What else do we have? Anything? Enzo will stay because Real Madrid get the Como boy Nico pass. Nico, I think, will still stay on loan there. I think Mourinho would want to sign Enzo, but whether he leaves, I don't know. Sanchez is Kepa with beard. Okay. Anything else? I'm just going to scroll to the very bottom and then try to get your subsequent contributions. The problem with Sanchez is he will turn a trashing into just a beating, and I'm not sure if that's a good thing. Okay. A good keeper saves you 15 points per season. We cannot compete with this guy. I think we can compete. I
I
think
think he
he's
saved
proven
us
that
those
we
points
can.
this season, by the way.
Sorry?
He's probably saved us around that many points this season as well,
You could argue
actually.
that's probably why we're not close to relegation. I think Chelsea fans are pretty good at they're not forgiven. They're not forgiven. So I'm just gonna drag Caicedo to starters, no question there. So we have a few players to debate about. Uh, okay, let's talk about Malo Gusto. A lot of Chelsea fans are saying sell him, I'd keep him. He's become more experienced than he was, and if Bayern notices that he's on the market, they will come for him because they already tried to see if we're open to selling him. I'd keep him. I wouldn't even consider selling him. I get it. He's looked tired, made some, you can say, silly mistakes that, for me, that reflect the fact that, yeah, he's mentally tired and needs some rest. And I don't blame him for not, you could say, performing consistently because he's been utilized all over the place. Left back, right back, inverted full back, you name them, wing back, traditional, you could say, full back and all that. For me, that's alone. That alone is, you could say, are enough. Those positions that I've mentioned that he's played in, those alone are enough to actually get him confused. And that's my opinion. Dante, let's hear you. I'm going to keep Malo Gusto.
Yeah, it's an
Yeah.
interesting one. That is a position of quite importance to Xavi Alonso, that especially from that right hand side. So, I mean, it all depends. Where is he going to play? What's happening to Reece James? Is Reece James going to be playing as a midfielder, or is Reece James going to be playing as a that right wing back? So yeah, look, Gusto alone is not enough. If James plays midfield or something like that, then or like a right centre back or something like that, well then Gusto is definitely not enough. Especially you're asked to do quite a lot as that right wing back, left wing back, right wing back in this system. So you got to run quite a lot, and you got to have pretty good offensive skills as well, actually, in that position. So like I said, Quenda coming in, he might get that starting position. To be honest, the way I see it, I think he probably gets that starting position ahead of Gusto, in my opinion. So is James going to be there? So that's an interesting one. Yeah, he uses those wing backs quite a lot, and he always has two or three of them for each side. We don't really have that, exactly. So we haven't seen James. I've been trying to see James play there. I've been hoping that they've been putting, but even Rosinha didn't put him there. They put him in the midfield. They didn't put him, or in the right centre back. They didn't put him as when we played with that formation. He didn't put him as the right wing back. So yeah, it just depends. I think on very much depends on James and what Alonso wants to do with Reece James, in my opinion. Because if we, you know,
Yeah.
Gusto is very good, but he's definitely not Alonso's type of right wing back. He's not really his type of right wing back, to be honest. So that could be one to watch. You never know what could happen with that one.
Yep. All right, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes of the good go a long way. And here we have Adeba and Marco just saying Sanchez's problem, emotional stability often messes up in big games, especially against the Gunners. That's an agreeable comment there. What else do we have? Gusto is a great player, to be honest, but he has a concentration issue and also hasn't played consistently in a particular position. Concentration, I agree. So anybody, for me, Sugo is the only player left I think we should actually waste our time discussing here. But Dante, Sugo, I'd say keep him. That's my opinion. But let's hear you.
Yeah, definitely keep. 100% keep. That depth is needed, especially to close out
Yeah.
games. He'd be perfect to come on and close out games. Yeah.
And he's the closest to Caicedo.
Even a bit more than Caicedo. He's more of a destroyer than Caicedo is, because he's much quicker and much stronger as well. Actually, he's uh, a little bit more powerful than Caicedo. He's got that the acceleration, where Caicedo is not that quick. He's just more in positioning, Caicedo, more than anything. But you can get around Caicedo. Sugo, you can't. He's very quick as well.
Yeah, Bobby Esugo, your thoughts before we call it a day?
Sorry, I was trying to unmute. Asugo is definitely a keep for me. I hope he's not going anywhere this summer because we're going to have some tired players come back from that World Cup.
Yeah,
We
and
have,
Caicedo is going.
yeah, we have players that summer to summer to summer, they have not rested. That catches up with you at some point. And whether you're just playing Premier League football or whether you're playing European football as well, I think the longevity of the season, a Premier League season, you're going to have to give some of these guys a rest. Asuga, we've not seen that much of him because of his injury. The little we've seen of him, I've been very impressed. We need to keep him fit, but he needs to be in the squad because he will get time on the field. It may not be a consistent period of time, but there's enough, and especially if we progress well in the cups.
Yeah, I do agree with you. What else do we have here? I don't think any other player here is worth discussing. Genesis and somebody mentioned here. What do you think of Genesis Antwi? For me, I don't think he's of that level where it makes sense to even try to decide what the club should do with him. I don't know. Bobby, how about you? Or Dante, how about you?
Bobby probably doesn't even know him too well.
Yeah. I don't even know
Sorry,
him
who's
actually.
this? Who's this? Sorry.
Genesis Antwi. Or
No.
Antwi. I'm not sure how you
Oh, is
pronounce
he
his
from
name.
our academy?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
We kind of saw a
He's
little bit of that kid in
yeah,
the Conference League, and I think he played when we went to Kazakhstan or somewhere like that. I don't know whether he is first team worthy yet, but I know he is part of our PL2 winning squad, which I think is the under 21s. I don't know. It depends on. I mean, we don't have European football, so the need to dip into our academy is maybe less, but it depends on the plans of Alonso. Alonso may still want to keep a certain amount of obligation to exercise some of these guys once in a while, and it depends if he's going to be happy to play mainly another season of under 21 football or feel he needs to progress. I'm not sure how old he is, but he's not very old. We're looking at maybe 17. He's not up to 18 because when he played in the Conference League, he was one of the, 16, 17 year olds that came on. So it's an interesting one. My simple answer is that it depends on how the manager feels he can use these guys.
Yeah, I agree. All down to the manager. And I think, let me read this so we can call it a day. Isigo is a top talent. I've watched him at Sporting La Liga. The injuries have done him bad. I think one time, actually. But he's ready now. Let's see what happens. And with that, we've come to the natural end of this particular edition of the Blue Morning Show. I appreciate you all. I want to say thank you to Jeremy Nice for joining. And thank you to Mabas05, aka MB05. And thank you to my bro, the Blue. To forget, much love to you. My bro, Adeba Makunju was also here. Who else was here? Jeremiah Fowler was here. Ibro, my bro, was also here. And on the panel, we have our senior panelist and Bobby, and also Constantine Dunn, the captain of the community. And thank you to all our paid members. Sincerely do appreciate you all. With that, I'm going to say, see you guys next time. God bless us all, and cheers.
cheers, guys. Take care. Thanks, my bust.
From the bridge to the stand, I carry that crest in my hand. Rain on my shoulders, still I stand. Tell me who wears it like we can. Mud on the boots, heart of gold. Those stories living in the cold. Every name that the walls still hold. I was born for this, I was told. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold. We were cut from that blue gold. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our name, this is our skin. When the pressure comes down hard, we don't flinch, we play our part. Every scar on the back says more than 1,000 songs before. From the first whistle to the last, we remember where we came from fast. No throne, no crown, no borrowed fame, just a city calling out that name. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold, we were cut from that blue gold. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we I carry that crest in my hand, rain on my shoulders, still I stand. Tell me who wears it like we can. Mud on the boots, heart of gold. Those stories living in the cold. Every name that the walls still hold. I was born for this, I was told. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold. We were cut from that blue gold. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our name, this is our skin. When the pressure comes down hard, we don't flinch, we play our part. Every scar on the back says more than 1,000 songs before. From the first whistle to the last, we remember where we came from fast. No throne, no crown, no borrowed fame, just a city calling out that name. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold. We were cut from that blue gold.